Hello and welcome everybody to the second day of the North American Pro League here. My name is Sean Bloodbath Rosenbaum and here is Kickstar. Kicks, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Blood. I'm excited to be back, and I apologize for not being here on the previous day casted for Brazil. But it's, I'm back.
Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling better.
Good.
I'm excited to cast today.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be play day number 2, year 2, season 2 of the North American Pro League. And what we've got going, last week we did the Group A, so let's take a look at our brackets for Group A, and we'll see just what unfolded last week, and then we'll get into today's matchup and what's going to be going on. Group A here, we had Flipside Tactics going up against Omen Esports, coming out 2-0.
Yeah, coming out looking really strong. Omen is, of course, one of those teams that came up from the Challenger League from the previous season, so they had a little bit of a bumpy start going up against Flipside Tactics, one of our most vetted teams in the entire Pro League overall for North America. And on the other side of the fence, Excellence Gaming versus Continuum came up with a surprise 2-0, against Continuum themselves. And everyone was kind of looking towards Continuum thinking, okay, are they going to be coming back on, putting themselves on top of this scene, or are they going to be having the same struggle they've been having throughout the previous season?
Yeah, and that match between Excellence did go in favor of Excellence Gaming. They came up, and now they're going to be going up against Flipside next week, I believe. We'll have to see what that schedule is going to be. But let's move on to Group B for the matchups we're going to be seeing tonight. Now, we do have, starting off the night, is actually going to be match number 2, Infamy and Elevate GG. And then we've got match number 1, Vertical Gaming and Ferocity Esports.
Yeah, so Infamy, a new team coming into the Pro League again from the Challenger League from the previous season. Elevate GG, one of those teams that made it to the finals of the last season, looking really strong, but unfortunately kind of, got eliminated in the first bracket. And then we also have Vertical Gaming and Ferocity. Vertical, everyone knows Vertical. Ferocity Gaming coming up, I think, also from the Challenger.
Yep, yeah, so Ferocity Esports and Infamy both came up from the Challenger League. I believe they were the first and second place teams. And then before we had Omen, which is previously known as
They were
Lunatic.
number 3.
They were number 3, came up because of the disbanding of Ominous.
Yeah.
Yes. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, those are going to be our 2 matchups today. They are best of 3s. So the first game, let's take a look at our schedule. Our first game of the night is going to be Infamy versus Elevate GG. And now with this matchup, like you said, is a Challenger League team going up against a former Pro League team. Last season we had Elevate.
A previously Challenger League team,
Yeah.
and now they're making their way into the Pro League. They've definitely proven that they deserve to be here. I mean, it's absolutely going to be a close fight. Another thing that we have seen in the past is oftentimes when you have Challenger League teams coming into playing against Pro League teams, is that there's a little bit of meta mix-up, a little bit of a trip, where these Pro League teams, they're used to dealing with things one way. Challenger League teams come out of left field, and they're dealing with it a totally different way, so we might see that play to the advantage of Infamy. But going against Elevate,
I feel like Elevate has shown time and time again that if they know their opponents and they've played against them, they can come back and counter-strat it. We saw it with Continuum. We saw it with previous games before with them. It seems like that's kind of their niche. So it's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, they don't necessarily know Infamy through and through.
Yeah, but let's take a look at the schedule for tonight. Again, we do have our matchups kind of backwards today. No worries about that, though. We are going to start off with Infamy and Elevate GG, starting here at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right in a few more minutes from now. And then following that's going to be Vertical Gaming versus Ferocity Esports.
Yeah, and some 2 very interesting matchups like we talked about earlier. I think that a lot of people are probably going to be writing off certain teams immediately for this particular matches, both of them today. I mean, a lot of people would say Elevate and Vertical were going to be the ones that are going to sit on top, but Ferocity's brought on a lot of new players, and I look really interesting and super strong going into this season. Infamy, on the other hand, is a team that we're not very familiar with, and we have seen, like you were talking about earlier, Elevate GG be the sort of team that deals best when counter-stratting, when dealing with a familiar force. So that might play against Elevate GG going into today. It's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, you could compare it to the matchup we saw, Excellence versus Continuum last play day for North America. And you could say, well, that was an upset, but it's not necessarily true. All of these teams are extremely strong.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier about how you can't vote any team off. You can't vote any team as the winner just yet because, as we talked about last week, there's something called the North American Shuffle. And there were so many teams that changed up 2 of their 5 players, 40% of their team. And some of these teams we're going to see tonight have done just that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to gauge with the change in synergy, the change in players. We were talking earlier, we'll see it most likely today, that we had Elevate bring on Chapstick, which is formerly on a different team, and he's taken the role of Skies.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because, well, not the roster spot of Skies, but the role.
Operator.
Yeah, the operator of Skies. And you know, with Elevate GG, again, that is especially interesting for them because they are a team that have sort of leaned a little bit on synergy in the past. Going up against CTM in the, I believe it was the 3rd season of year 1, they lost in the first match, and then they beat them on the 2nd match. It got a rematch, and they managed to bring it through. And that you could say is attributed to the fact that they had one of their teammates, I think it was Laxing, brought back onto their roster, which kind of just brought back that synergy and made them more of a cohesive unit. So that might play against Elevate GG. Again, a lot of the factors looking like it might be in the favor of Infamy going into this first match.
It's very possible, but let's take a look at the rosters here for our teams. We're going to start off with, I believe we're going to start off with Infamy. We'll have to see here in a moment. There we are. So Infamy is going to be our first lineup where we're taking a look at here. Who do we have?
We have Nifty, Beastly, Vandal, Biologics, and Easily. Again, they haven't played a match yet in the Pro League, and this entire roster, for that matter, is brand new to the Pro League for PC. But so because of that, we don't have any statistics coming out for them.
Yeah, all the stats that we're going to be showing you throughout the league have been seasonal stats, and this is the first time Infamy has played this season in the Pro League. And so we have 0 stats at the moment for them, but they will be updated as the weeks progress. Now, looking at the lists here, some of these players look as though they may have come over from the Xbox teams that we've seen previously. I remember Bio as well as Easily.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I mean, a lot of these, the conversion from Xbox to PC, a lot of people would say at the beginning of the 3rd season of year 1, they might have said where it was impossible.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of teams that have made it happen, like Vitality, like Elevate, and a couple others. And they have proven that time and time again that it is definitely far from impossible. These Xbox teams coming over to PC have proven themselves extremely skilled.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to point out. Like you said, Elevate and Team Vitality, both coming out of the European and North American regions, I think have pioneered the, we'll call it, the confidence in other players to make that transition over and pursue this this dream of many, or this goal of many, to become Pro League players. So I'm glad to see that there's more people taking that step, and hopefully they make just as big of a bang as Elevate did.
Yeah, and speaking of Elevate, I think we have their roster to take a look at.
We do.
And here they are, Elevate GG, Skies, Shuttle, Laxing, Chapstick, and England. So I think that's Bosco who's been brought off this roster, if I recall correctly, for Chapstick. And we talked about it earlier. Chapstick is going to be picking up the role of Ash, which is very interesting to a lot of people because Skies in the past has been that player on the Elevate GG roster who has time and time again played to the advantage of the attacking for Elevate GG on the attack, with the Ash getting like 4Ks, 3Ks, and even a couple aces here and there. So bringing on that new player in Chapstick, there's going to be a lot of pressure on his shoulders specifically, especially considering he's picking up the main fragger role.
So you say Chapstick's picking up that main fragger role on attack. Is he also taking the role of Skies on defense?
I'm not entirely sure what's going to be happening on defense. All I heard from Skies is that he said very specifically that Chapstick will be playing Ash today.
Gotcha. Because I know, thinking about the roam game between Laxing and Skies, they're a perfect combination. That duo is almost one of a kind. You can't necessarily find that or build it. It just is magic in some sense.
It is a little bit iconic as well, yeah, for Elevate GG. I think that they'll probably be retaining that, but we'll find out once we get into the match, of course.
Yes. So, guys, we actually have some new graphics for you here. We're going to take a look at the operators, the top 5 picked operators from attack and the top 5 picked operators from defense for the North American region.
Yeah, and here we have, obviously, Hibana coming out with 100%, Blackbeard with an 83.3%, Ash 76.6, or 76.7, Thermite 53.3, and Sledge 46.7. Now, the main ones to note are, of course, Hibana coming out on the top there. That's because she brings so many things to the board. She brings the breaching of the reinforced walls, as well as being just an overall fantastic fragging operator. She also has flashbangs for extra frag potential, or a claymore to hold down that flank. Blackbeard making a re-emergence here. Now, you can easily attribute that to the fact that Glaz was nerfed recently, which made it so his shots are a little bit less potent, do a little bit less damage, there's a little bit more recoil. Overall, he's not as powerful as an operator as he used to be. He can still see through smokes, but Blackbeard and Glass fulfill a similar role in that they deny hard angles for the defenders. And now that Blackbeard's still completely viable, he just kind of got that role taken away from him.
Yeah, one of the things I want to point out here, as I remember at the Season 1 LAN Finals, we had Justin, UB Justin, come and talk about the scale and how they decide how to nerf, how to buff people, and they want that 33% sweet spot, and that's what Blackbeard was at pre-Season 2. We see him making an 83% leap of faith there.
Yeah.
But again, that is after only 2 series.
Mostly, the reason he was so much further down there was almost exclusively because of Glass.
Yep.
Because you're not going to bring up, you can, and people did bring a Blackbeard and a Glass.
Yeah.
But now
they filled
it's
same
not,
roles,
it's
similar.
what?
They filled similar roles.
Yeah, they fulfill similar roles, and now with Glaz being where he is, having been nerfed, I mean, it's kind of just like, well, let's just bring Blackbeard instead because you know he's not gonna die from the front, and whereas with a Glaz, while you can still challenge through smokes, there's obviously that smoke being rotated off of the most commonly picked operators like Ashe, for example. There's not as much smoke to look through.
Yep.
So I think Blackbeard makes a lot of sense coming back in.
Agreed. So let's take a look at the top 5 picked defenders from the North American region after 1 week of play.
Yeah, Smoke 100%, similar to Habana, Jaeger 93.3, Mira 73.3, Pulse 56.7, Bandit 50%. Now, you can obviously see the 3-speed meta coming through here for the defenders, especially. Smoke making a lot of, or seeing a lot of play, obviously, because Smoke is, I think we have to agree, it makes sense that he would be played as he's probably the most powerful defender in the game right now. He lends so much to his team. He's got the shotgun for construction of the site that's opening murder holes and rotation holes. He has barbed wire. On top of that, he also has gas canisters that can deny an entire lane, if not 2, for upwards of a minute if you time them right. And then to round it all off, you've got the SMG-11 to get that nice little kill in case you need to actually fight someone.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't forget the little pocket sniper there.
Exactly.
But, I mean, like just looking at Smoke, you say he's the most powerful. I also think he's also one of the most versatile because he can play offsite, he can play onsite, he can do all of that.
Exactly, yeah. He can fulfill most every role that the defenders really need him to do, including bomb disruption, simply holding lanes, construction of the site. I mean, you see Mira coming into play a lot here, too. She's been added in the most recent DLC. She also lends a little bit to construction of the site in her own way with those mirror windows, but on top of that, the secondary weapon, that pistol shotgun, so to speak, also lends a little bit to that construction of the site. Jaeger seeing obviously a lot of play because, I mean, he's Jaeger, he's got a good carbine, he denies the grenades, and he has barbed wire. I mean, he's got kind of an all-one package, the 3-speed on top of all that. Pulse seeing a lot of play because, again, 3-speed, but more importantly, he can see through walls and see 4 through walls if he happens to be playing underneath the site. And then Bandit, I mean, same thing as Jaeger. You're a 3-speed, you got a good gun, you got an ACOG, you've got barbed wire. Well, why are we not bringing Bandit?
I think you're totally right. One of the things I want to bring back to Smoke, though, is you talked about here how he can stop, if timed well, he can stop a plant or stop a push for nearly a minute. Do you think that him being the most picked operator is going to influence how the attackers then pursue onto site? Meaning, are we going to start seeing rounds not go down to the last 10 seconds?
Well, I mean, are you saying if we don't see Smoke picked, are we going to see that?
Since we are seeing so much Smoke chosen 100% of the time here, is that going to force attacking sides to start thinking we need to push sooner instead of pushing at the last 15, the last 20 seconds?
To be completely honest, we've been seeing Smoke played consistently, not 100% all the time, but like 90-ish, 80-ish% on the defensive lineup throughout the entirety of the Pro League for Rainbow Six. So I don't think that Smoke is going to be influencing the meta in any drastic way. If you're talking about meta influencers, let's talk about Mira. Mira has changed the meta on multiple different bomb sites, multiple different maps, time and time again. We've seen a lot of new innovations coming out from her specifically, and it's really, I think that her mirror windows is what we should really be focusing on, where we see them placed and how different they cause different bomb or any particular bomb site to be defended differently.
I agree with you there. I mean, we've constantly seen some new mirror placements here almost on every single bomb site. Each team seems to have their own way of doing so, and there's even been times where we've only seen one of the mirror window places because they realize 2 is just going to expose us in some sense.
Yeah, no, it does happen sometimes. I mean, I find more often than not, we have a Mira. And interestingly, on the note of Mira, we've actually, because we saw more Mira play, and we're seeing more Mira play, we have actually been seeing more Twitch play.
Yes.
Because one of the most useful ways you can use a Twitch drone is to open up a Mira window. Because not only does that deny a lot of information or an invincible angle for the defenders, but more importantly, it opens up an angle for you as an attacker onto wherever the defenders wanted to sit. So when you put your Mira window in the most crucial spot for you to hold as a defender, you also expose it in case the Mira window gets open.
Agreed. Agree with you there. So, ladies and gents, we're going to move on to the map bans now. And map bans, we're going to start off with Infamy taking that first ban. Now, we do have all 9 maps that we've talked about previously throughout all of last week. They're the same 9 maps that we had during Season 1. And we talked about it before. With the latest update of 2.2.1, there were a few maps that had just minor changes, or some, we'll say, significant or insignificant changes, such as on, we had Consulate. We had the boxes underneath the kitchen stairs.
Yeah. I mean, a couple different changes here and there, but nothing too drastic that needs to be talked about. Chalet getting banned out here from Infamy. Oregon being banned out in response from Elevate. Now, these are two of the maps. Ooh, Cafe, I like that.
There we go.
We have 3 of the most played maps throughout this entire season. Maybe Chalet a little bit on the lesser end there. Being bound out early in this ban phase, that means all 3 of the DLC maps are still in there. Now, neither of these teams are going to really mind if we go to Border. However, Skyscraper, Coastline, let's get a little bit iffy there. I'm sure we're going to see the Skyscraper ban here from Elevate GG and the Coastline ban almost certainly from one of these 2 teams to round us off.
Yeah, I mean, Infamy banning Cafe, that's a guaranteed. With Elevate taking a continuum last season on it and just being very fluid, very refined, we'll say, on that map.
So Bank being banned out here, I'm sure we're going to see a Coastline ban from Elevate, or at least I'm pretty certain that we're going to see a Coastline ban from Elevate. I don't recall them being a team that likes to play it. And there, like you said, there it is. Now we are dealing with Border, Clubhouse, and Consulate. It's going to be interesting to see who decides to bring us to what. But no real surprises there in these last 3 maps. All of them are very commonly played throughout our Pro League thus far.
I feel as though Consulate, we've seen it almost every single series. I feel like it is going to be the new Oregon, the new Border from last season.
I have to say, we have been seeing a lot of Consulate, but I don't resent that. I don't
either.
When we have like a lot of Cafe play, it's kind of like, I mean, that's the same thing over and over again. But the thing about Consulate is that it's so versatile as a map. You can bring it to so many different angles as an attacker or defender, and there's just a lot of options and on each and every floor. So Consulate's one of those maps that when we get to see it played in the Pro League, it's actually really quite exciting.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got Consulate, we've got Border, and we also have our final map,
Clubhouse.
What do you think we're going to see here for the first bans? Because we're getting into the teams that are going to ban.
I think it's going to be a Clubhouse and a Border pick, and I think I think it's going to be an Oregon and a Border. Not Oregon. I'm sorry. I think Clubhouse is going to be our decider map. Is what I was trying to say there. I think Border and Border and Consulate are going to be our 2 pick maps.
I agree with you there. I feel like Infamy might be picking the Border. I feel like, so Border is, like you said, one of those maps that a lot of teams have gotten a lot of confidence on. They feel more comfortable. We've seen strategies start to formulate on multiple different bomb sites. And there's the Border pick from Infamy, and that means most likely Elevate's going to be choosing that Consulate.
I'm thinking they're going to pick Consulate, yeah. I think Clubhouse is going to be put into a corner. It's not one of the more preferred maps from a lot of teams. It got a little bit washed out in year 1, season 2. And then after that, the Glaz meta got introduced, and it kind of got a little bit of mix-up, and people started playing a little bit more. Yeah, there's Clubhouse being pushed into the 3rd map. But it's still kind of an outsider of a map where people, they're okay with playing it, but they don't necessarily want to all the time. And Consulate being picked out there, again, a good map, well-balanced. I think this is a great map pool, what we've got here today. Border is, again, one of those, it's similar to Consulate in that a lot of teams do very much like it. And when Border first came out as a map, teams really shunned it. They were like, DLC maps are terrible. They just blanket stated it. It was because of Yacht coming out previously. But Border came out, and everyone was like, this is terrible. And then over time, the Pro League started to realize, wow, this is actually one of the best maps ever made for Siege.
I think one of that reasons is because of the versatility of it, meaning I think, what is it, like 90% of the entire floor on 2nd floor is destructible from underneath. Everything except, I think, Fountain is destructible in the hallway.
There are a lot of options on Border, especially for that vertical game like you were talking about. Similar to Consulate, who has, as a map, has pretty much the same options. A lot of the floors are destructible and can be utilized by the attackers or the defenders, depending on the situation. I mean, holding that lobby from above or below.
Yep.
It's a kind of a 2-way street. It depends on the innovation of whichever team plays the map.
So keeping an eye here on our picks, we do have Border starting off, and Elevate chose to go attack on the start. Is attack something you typically see if a team can choose the side they want to start on? Is attack what you typically see on Border?
Well, when it comes to map sort of selection here, I don't know if that's necessarily what I would go for. I think on Border, a lot of teams are going to want to bring it to Armory first and get that solid defense in. But with Elevate, Chapstick is the player that they've recently brought onto the roster, and he's an extremely aggressive player. I think that he is going to bring a lot of just aggro to that squad, and I think they want to show that through in their first round going on attack.
So we do have the game starting up right now as the operators are being selected. Let's take a look at the game here. Again, with Elevate GG starting out on attack, and we're going to have Infamy starting on defense.
Yeah, Ash, Thermite, Buck, Hibana, Blackbeard coming out for the attacking squad. Smoke, Valkyrie, Bandit, Pulse, and Jaeger. No surprises in that entire lineup. Pretty much very similar to what we were seeing on those top picks earlier in the cast.
I think that's all four, except they've traded out the Valkyrie for the Mirror.
Yeah, the Valkyrie for the Mirror. And that makes sense on this particular floor. I mean, we do see Mira played a lot on this Armory defense on border. However, she's not essential. She aids, see where that wall Vandal's reinforcing right now. She can aid in holding the offices by putting the Mirror window there. And then where Nifty is right now in the A-bomb site can help very much in denying the thermite into the E wall. However, it's not necessary. And I'm guessing that Infamy, based upon this lineup here, are going to go for a very aggressive start. Try to get those picks early on.
Now, one of the things we're actually going to take a look at here, if we go over to Smoke, which is Biologics, he just reinforced that single wall, and going through the office, through the hallway, all the way through the office where we see the break room, they have actually opened up the wall there for a shot at the south end of the map, at the south border.
And also a rotation, as it does seem that they are going to be playing 2 in CCTV. Now, this is an aggressive play coming out from Infinity, and I think this is why we weren't seeing the Mira come through. Elevate does have operators in the wings ready to counter this, though. They've got the Buck for the destructibility in case they want to open up offices, and it looks like they're going to do just that. As well as Skies has actually, turns out, retained his spot on the Ash,
So
which is interesting.
Chapstick going with a thermite play here. Which, thermite play on a, looks like an office push. That seems to be normally where we see an Habana, and thermite's where we want to see typically for the west push.
Yeah. And it does look like they are going to be focusing their way straight into the offices. They're going to have to contest with Vandal here, as he's still playing aggressively in this office wall. There is a Blackbeard, however, to challenge directly onto the angle should he get into position.
And we do have Vandal inside of the office. Nifty, though, going to have to skedaddle out of the archives room as Laxing was just tossing a couple bullets in there. We see everyone here on the east end of the balcony. That's going to be all 5 members basically here from Elevate. Sky's looking like he wants to make a push in towards the hallway. He's going to make a left to the right side. He's going to tag Vandal. Looks on over. He's going to tag a second kill there onto Beastly. Now the gas grenade there is going to push his halt, or he's going to stop the push there. And he's still taking a look over there towards the break room. Now it looks like Easily will tag him down, but not out just yet, as Biologics then gets picked off by England.
Yeah, and he won't know that he got that down as England finishes off Biologic, and Skies will likely be picked up. Now a 2 versus 5. There's not a lot of... Wow,
now a 1 on 5 here.
Yeah.
Easily last Valkyrie alive. He's in the middle hallway, rushing around underneath the camera inside of the main hallway here. He's going to spot Shuttle and down him for the count. Pulls out the Deagle, gets 1 kill, but it looks like he might be thwarted and finished off here by England or Skies. A couple more bullets going his way, and he's down to about 5 to 10 health. Taking a couple pre-fire shots into the office. Laxing going to look at down main hall. Skies going to look on and finish him off there. It's a 4-1 finishing off there. It's going to be Elevate coming up 1-0 after round number 1.
So we were under the impression that Chapstick was going to be picking up Ash, but Sky is definitely proving right then and there that nope, he's going to stick with it, and for good reason.
So, I mean, after looking at that, that looked like a very solid round there from Elevate. All pushing in from the east balcony and
It was just a straight office take. There was no real complication there. There weren't any roadblocks or significant enough roadblocks set up by Infamy that were stopping that take. We had the rotation hole into CCTV that gave those CCTV players line of sight into offices. However, that wasn't really utilized very much. We saw Valkyrie down the Skies on that Ash, but it didn't, again, no finish off and no momentum shifting back in Infamy's favor, no trade backs. The Jaeger was playing overextended in offices at that far east wall, and unfortunately, no one was in a position to trade them back again. Now, it just came down to Infamy sitting on their positions, 1 by 1, getting picked off by Elevate, and just no trade backs happening.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm curious, and maybe Infamy will then recorrect on their next defensive hold, is it looks as though there was no barbed wire or the barbed wire's in a poor placement that didn't prevent Skies from getting into the office. He snuck right on in there, and I think he finished off Beastly.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah. And now we're going to be seeing Elevate GG thrust onto their defense upstairs, and they will, in fact, be bringing a Mira, as well as a Castle. Pretty similar lineup coming out from the Infamy squad, though, for attack.
Now, I do like the outside barbed wire placements we're seeing here on the west balcony. One's going to stop a rush in that we're right where Skies was standing there at the moment on the corner. And another, again, is going to be the typical spot to go into the west archives entry, or west lockers entry.
And it looks like Infamy, from the way that we're looking at this right now, the way they're setting themselves up, is going to be pushing into the offices, going for the similar attack that we saw from Elevate GG. And where, in the contrast here, Elevate, they've set themselves up a lot more passive on this hold. when they're utilizing that mirror window at Fountain rather than playing all the way aggressive into the office itself. Or actually, it doesn't look like there is a mirror window at Fountain. They're simply just playing a smoke here.
I like the rotation here. Typically what we see is we see that barricaded off or reinforced off there into the Fountain, but instead they're using that to their advantage and just rotating around. That's going to allow them to easily adjust through whichever way they decide the attack is going to be pushing onward. And like you said earlier, this is going to be pushing in from the east balcony and do just a typical office take.
Attackers have located a bomb.
This pressure coming out from the balcony outside B is a little bit different than what we were seeing from Elevate.
Basically, you just got to shoot a couple shots through the wall. You might get J-Shuttle there.
Oh, poor. Feels bad, man. That's the sort of situation where you look back on the VOD and you're like, uh-oh.
I could have gotten it. Now Beastly is going to toss in some stun grenades and possibly hop into the window here momentarily.
Infamy's take here is extremely slow and methodical. They're just trying to push in nice and slow, and they might even get this defuse plant, as the smoke is nowhere to be seen.
Going to be up to Shuttle to try to push on in, but he will be head tapped there by Easily. Shield's going to get destroyed on that Blackbeard, but not too much damage will go onto Easily himself. Claymore's going to drop down the shots there onto England, and Laxing picks up a first kill there onto Vandal. Diffuser has been planted to 4-on-3 at the moment. We're going to have just moments to go until Infamy secures round number 2. 4-on-3 still pursuing there. Looks like we're going to have Easily picking up another kill there on the Chapstick. Laxing trying to jump on. He's going to tag one onto Biologics. Last man alive, he's now detected out here in the corner, and he will get finished off momentarily there by Beastly. Now that's going to be the end of round number 2. Infamy showing that they can also do an office take onto the east balcony.
And they did it very differently. They, instead of pressuring office straight up and just pushing into the site through the door, they tried to apply some pressure hard onto that north balcony before pushing in through the balcony door itself. And that's a very different way of doing it, but more importantly, Elevate, what they didn't do is they didn't have anyone in a position to stop that. They had their smoke playing too aggressively in the office itself, and because of that, he was unable to deny that defuse play.
Yeah, and one of the things that I believe we saw done was we had Beastly outside on outside of the window. He used those stun grenades to help basically drown out the noise of the diffuser, and that's why I believe we didn't see Castle actually try and push that. That was Shuttle, I believe, trying to actually push that and stop the diffuser from getting planted.
Right. And now the same defense coming through here for Infamy yet again, as neither of these teams have been successful in their armory defense. They will have to devise a plan here to try and mix things up. Oftentimes we see squads, when they're unsuccessful in defending a particular site on a particular map, they opt to go for their second option here. Infamy have decided that is not what they're going to try to go for. They are going to continue to drudge along here with that upstairs defense on the armory, try to make it work. We'll see if Elevate choose to go for the same attack through those offices, or if they're going to go ahead and mix things up and go for that A-wall take. It would stand to reason that that's going to be their strategy, as we have seen time and time again that Elevate GG is a versatile squad. However, that might play against them. Looks like they are actually setting themselves up outside the office right this second, so we might see a similar run through here from Elevate that we saw in the first round of this map.
Infamy did drop back the Jaeger and pick up that Mira. But Nifty's going to be playing the mirror here, and we are starting to see some of those more standard type mirrored windows where they're going to be on the west wall. I didn't see where the second one was placed just yet. Vandal, however, is going to be inside of the offices there, as he's right on the half wall. Shuttle going to drone him out here momentarily. There's that second mirror window again, looking in from Fountain into the office. That's one of those more aggressive windows that we typically see here inside of the office.
Yeah, and this is the first time we're seeing it come through. Infamy decided not to bring it last time, but now they're going to be able to play on that crossfire. Vandal and the smoke will be able to deny this office for quite a lot longer. As well as having that open wall onto the balcony itself, that applies a lot of pressure to Elevate just in general before they make their way into the office itself. These grenades coming out now are going to light up Vandal, but unfortunately will not be able to finish him off.
You know, I'd almost ask England to try to get his underneath inside of, I think it is the tellers, and just use that buck charge from underneath, or use his buck shotgun.
Well, I'm thinking they're trying not to spend the time to do that, and they're also worried about the roamers, but that is actually playing against them now, as half of the round has ticked down, and they have thus far been incapable of taking control of office. Easily, meanwhile, is going to pick off Laxing to start the man advantage in the favor of the defenders.
Now Vandal knows that he's been identified. He's just wasting time in here. He's got, like you said, he's got about 15 health left on him. He should not go for the peek, but it looks like Shuttle's going to go, and he's going to tag him down for the count. Now he's going to look to the left there as Biologic stood for the drop shot, gets the kill, but is injured in the process. Now we have a 4-on-2 at the moment. Last two alive for the attacking squad. On Elevate, it's going to be Chapstick and Skies. Skies is up here on the west balcony, trying to go up against Nifty. Looks like a double kill from Chapstick's going to go flying. Now man count is even, and still 50 seconds left to go. Nifty and Beastly are the last two alive here on Infamy.
If there's any two players left on the Elevate GG roster that I would want to be clutching out in a 2 versus 2, it'd be Skies and Chapstick. However, Beastly and Nifty have a good chance of bringing this back into their favor, as Beastly's going for a nice flank here onto Skies.
Yeah, and that flashbang actually just drowned out the noise of Beastly coming on around, and that's going to be 1 kill down onto Skies. Last minute, last going to be Chapstick. He's trying to get on into the site. He just had a B at the moment. Go for the plant. A 2-on-1. Nifty moving on forward there. He heard the running. Beastly coming up for the flank. Now Chapstick didn't have to go for this kill quite quickly because Beastly's coming around in a moment's notice. 15 seconds left on the clock. Nifty still holding on to the corner. Looks like Chapstick will down him. Now he's going to look on over here to go for Beastly. Beastly coming up into the office. 10 seconds left to go. Chapstick will get this plant down as Beastly's trying to rush on over from the office.
5 seconds remaining.
Plant goes down. Chapstick now knows, okay, someone's here. This is where we're going to have Beastly throw out that heartbeat sensor. Flashbang's going on out, and unfortunately that might blind Beastly for a little bit. Beastly still going with that heartbeat sensor, still moving on forward. He's pulling out the gun now, gonna toss out the C4, misses the target. Unfortunately, that will not kill Chapstick. Now we're gonna have Beastly get finished off there by Chapstick. What a clutch! A 2-on-4 is gonna go in favor of Elevate here, and that is round number 3.
So we often talk about how roster changes for particular teams can be to the detriment of the squad. However, Chapstick here, as I'm so happy to say this whenever it happens, is proving that he is a fine addition to the Elevate roster as he just clutched out his first round of the Pro League.
I think that is definitely a valid point, is that he is being very impactful.
Yeah, and I mean, oftentimes, again, it's the case that new players being brought onto a team, they can be they don't mold well and they don't come into the squad and have a good synergy. But, you know, when you see that level of play, what we just saw there, he not only forced out that Mira, who is playing on a hard 90-degree angle, which in of it just by itself is impressive, but he also managed to get the clutch against the Pulse, no less. Somebody with a heartbeat detector, and the Pulse was still equipped with a C4. Impressive play all in all for Chapstick to clutch out that round. And honestly, when I was looking at that last 2v2, I was thinking it was going to be Skies who's going to pick up those 2 frags. So even more impressive.
Yeah, I think the C4 toss just barely missed its target. I mean, it was he knew where he was going to be. He knew it was tucked around inside, and unfortunately, it just didn't go as far as it needed to.
Yeah, and now we're going to be seeing, I mean, strategically, let's look at it though. We did see Infamy set themselves up in the correct way to hold that Elevate GG attack, as they were stacked very heavily on the opposite side. And it kind of looked like it was going Infamy's way until that clutch moment between Skies and Chapstick. Now, I think that we might be seeing Elevate GG be the first ones to successfully defend this armory, as they are going to continue to try and slug this out instead of going down into ventilation. Neither of these teams have opted to make that rotation yet. And it's going to be curious to see if they're the ones who are going to actually be able to make this work.
I mean, their hold, as we saw last time, was set up specifically for the west end.
Yeah.
They weren't necessarily putting too much effort onto holding the office, and I think because that's where Infamy pushed, that's ultimately why they got the round done. But I'm thinking they're a little bit more cautious now.
This north balcony pressure is thus far not being attacked here by Elevate. And this is the pressure that allowed Infamy to go ahead and win this round last time they were on this. It
looks like, like you said, we will be seeing this east balcony push into office. Blackbeard's still in the same spot, that's easily. We are going to have Beastly out on the windows again. Now that he does have the addition of Vandal, that's Sledge who's out there, and I think he was brought up to merely get rid of the castle barricade. Skies, however, is going to play underneath this time, along with Laxing. This is that roaming duo pair we've talked about previously. It's worked out for them numerous times.
Yeah, you can see that Skies there is on Valkyrie rather than Jaeger, and the reason for that is because Skies can bring a C4 to the board here, and that C4 could be very well utilized underneath Office. Easily looking for that pick on the shuttle, is not going to find it. And here you can see, again, this camera is set up specifically to stop the Infamy take. However, Skies goes for an aggressive run outside and will be picked off by Easily. That's a C4 gone. That's extremely important for the Infamy attack.
Definitely it is, and unfortunately, it's looking like this might be another Infamy take here into the archives. We're going to see Biologic try to rush on in. Beastly will get injured and then taken out here, as well as a team kill from the gas grenade. England will take out Shuttle. Vandal gets downed and outside of the bomb site. Beastly still out here on the west balcony or east balcony. He will tag the head of Chapstick. Plant will go down here. No, it won't. Biologic has also been injured. We're going to have two men left alive. It's Nifty and Easily. Now they've both crawled on out to the balcony.
Oh, this is unfortunate.
Looks like they might get picked up. England just needs to go for a little peek. He could have gotten all 3 kills, but instead he won't. He will be the last man left alive. Diffuser again going to go for the plant. Vandal will go down. However, the headshot again from Easily will come on out. And this is Easily, I think, grabbing 3 or 4 kills this round.
Yeah, very well played from Easily there. And that's one of those rounds, again, that, you know, when you look back on the VOD, you're going to be like, oh, no. Unfortunate circumstance, although circumstance it is. That is what happened. And now moving on from that, Infamy, you can see their attack, the way they're setting themselves up there is, yes, they're applying pressure to the north balcony. They're applying pressure to the balcony outside, this is the B bomb side, as well as having that Blackbeard repel outside the office's window with that Hibana hole into the B bomb side, and then straight all the way down into A, cuts off a lot of rotation, and it establishes a nice little two-way crossfire between the balcony all the way far outside offices and the north balcony outside the B bomb site on the B door through the A site. So nice little cut off there on that crossfire. We are going to be seeing the very first rotation, as thus far it has been an entirely attacker-sided map. Infamy rotating down into the ventilation room rather than trying to force out that armory defense time and time again. Now, what we have seen for a ventilation defense more often than not is the defensive squad will try to hold it from above, and you can see their Vandal setting up some reinforcements in exactly that sort of plan is like, okay, we're going to hold bunker above B so that they can't plant B, we can just shoot them through the floor. And we'll see how long it takes the attackers to take control of above before they start pressuring into the site, or if they go for a fast, or if Elevate decide to go for a fast plant straight into the site itself. It looks like, based upon their east spawns, that they're going to try and push their way in through tellers, into bathroom, and then through the wall into the A bomb site. And we have seen this work well in the past. It's very contained attack strategy and often lends no use to the roamers of the defending squad.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, seeing as how we have typically seen I'd say an equal amount of pushes from on A side and on B side, what have you seen work the most?
Work the most. Now that's an interesting case. It really depends on the attacking squad and the defending squad. I find that it depends on what you're going for. So if you're dealing with like a really heavy roam game where you've got a lot of players playing upstairs like you see right here right now, the best strat is what Elevate is doing right now. Oh, England with the headshot onto Beastly through the wall. That was just a reactionary shot, or maybe it was called out on the drone. Either way, an excellent shot from England. Yeah, so what we're seeing here from Elevate right now is usually the best bet when you're dealing with a lot of roamers upstairs, because you can contain or maintain or just establish control over office upstairs that's above the tellers and the bathroom, and that will lend you a lot of just vertical control that you don't have to worry about the C4 or shotguns coming from above. Then you can push your way in through the A bomb site. You don't have to force out control on where you see Vandal playing right now. You don't have to contest him. It's unnecessary, and thus you can render a lot of defenders useless.
Yeah, now Vandal was tagged a little bit. He fell down through the drop hatch inside of the middle office, and he got caught out at all clear, which means Elevate now knows they've got control of the top floor. They just need to make sure that the stairs are all clear, that the stairs are covered, and they'll be able to contain that top floor. Easily, however, will tag that shot on the chapstick. Deagle kill tries to come on out, but it will not be successful, as Laxing, although I guess it was a Deagle kill by Blackbeard.
In a way, it was a Deagle kill. But it was for the wrong squad, unfortunately, for Infamy, and that's going to put Elevate back into the saddle here in a 4 versus 3 situation. A little bit too aggressive there from Easily. He definitely seems hyped up in this matchup. He's been playing extremely well. However, that's not exactly the kind of aggression that you want to be seeing. Now, that drone out from Skies is going to force Jaeger into a predicament here. As he has been cut off from the rest of his team, there's not a lot of options for Vandal to get back and help defend the site.
Yep. Looks like Vandal jumped on out, came back into the main corridor, and Shuttle, though, will pick off the shot on a Nifty. A 4-on-2, 35 seconds left to go. Shuttle's in the top drop hatch above servers. Looks like Biologic's going to drop the shield there, Blackbeard, but Laxing comes swinging out hard with the kill onto Biologics, and Shuttle picks up the final moment there onto Vandal, and we will see Infamy, unfortunately, not able to get this round. Elevate coming out 3-2.
So what we did end up seeing there from Elevate is it looked like they were trying to go for a bathroom straight take, taking control of office and then pushing their way in through bathroom tellers. However, when they first got that initial pick from England, by the way, that was nice. They got that initial pick, and then the rest of the defenders started to default back into the site, and then you saw Easily he got really aggressive onto the tellers itself. So Elevate was like, okay, well, we don't necessarily need to push in through tellers into bathroom. We can instead opt to simply take control of the entire top floor, because lo and behold, all the defenders are gone. They're nowhere to be seen. So they did just that. They utilized their buck to the best of their ability, opened up those holes into the site, got rid of the anchors, and then the returning roamers were just not enough to finish or to bring back the round for the defensive squad in Infamy.
Now we will start seeing Elevate also deciding to take up this opportunity to go back downstairs or down into the ventilation and workshop room. One of the things that we've constantly seen kind of work out better for teams, instead of waiting for that third time or trying out for the third time on the same bomb site and failing yet again, it seems like if you miss a bomb site 2 times in a row, you typically will see the better teams change it up.
Yeah, and it actually technically was Infamy to make the first rotation. However, it's still a all attackers win on this particular map. So we'll see if, well, I mean, can Elevate mix things up? Can they bring in our first defense win? And I really want to, I want them to tell us yes. I want them to show us that this is where the tide changes, where we stop trading rounds. If they do, that's going to be bad news bears for Infamy, because it will be a 4-2 situation, and that will be match point for Elevate GG.
Yeah, that means Elevate would be able to go back upstairs if they do win this one. And I mean, the way things have been going, that would go in favor of Infamy.
Well, it really it depends on a lot of factors, like, because the way that Infamy is attacking onto the B bomb site upstairs is so predictable, and it's it's routine. They've been doing it the same way over and over again. So it's just on Elevate to be able to look at the way that Infamy is attacking that particular floor and counter it specifically. I don't know if they're capable of doing that, as they've shown that they've lost, I think, 2 rounds on it so far. However, you know, it's never too late.
It looks like Beastly was very peculiar about that exact spot being opened up in the wall.
And you can see here that because of that wall being opened up, between Beastly and Vandal, they have taken control of Customs without stepping a single foot into Customs. And as I say that, they step their first foot in here. And you can see here, Infamy, their attack strategy is tellers into bathroom, into A wall, into A itself. And thus far has yielded no results for either of the squads, either of the 2 squads, Elevate or Infamy. There is a Glaz on the attacking squad here.
Now we do have 4 members here from Elevate upstairs. This is a 4-1 defensive hold.
Yeah, and I think that's the right attack for Infamy to start employing, given the heavy roam state of Elevate right now. Because they could, right now, arguably just kind of smoke it off and push in with their Glaz, kill Shuttle and Chap, and get the defuse plant.
Now Chapstick will pick off that headshot there into Vandal, killing the first member of the round. 1:15 left to go, and we're going to have Infamy looking into the next, I'd say, 30 seconds to try to go here for a push.
That was a one-tap from SMG11. How do you see that? England picking off Biologics as he pushes into this site. Interesting that Biologics didn't see those tracer rounds before he made that push happen.
Now, unfortunately, Easily is going to try to be the one man up here trying to secure this against 3 roamers on the top floor. Now, this is something, if they were going to go for the roamers, they should have done earlier, in my opinion. But here we are in a 3-on-5, 45 seconds left to go. Easily now pushing his way into the middle corridor, hopping up over the drop hatch above servers. He's going to get the shot on the Shuttle, though. Sees him. Dropped it. Oh, he misses the headshot. He's going to get away. However, he runs right into Beastly's crosshairs and just goes down for the count. A 3-on-3 now, 2-on-3, with the engagements happening with Easily, Chap, and now we've got a double down here with Chapstick and Beastly. Easly's going to be the last man alive. He takes off the bandit, but he misses the shot. And we're going to have Chapstick and Laxing pick up the final 2 kills. Laxing just finishing off Easily there at the moment.
I got to see that shot from Laxing. That was nuts. There you go. Yeah, unfortunately, that Thatcher hit the shoulder of that Jaeger as he was peeking down onto the drop down. That is just kind of a little bit of a misplaced shot there. Still coming to terms with the slight change of the hitboxes. The earmuffs are no longer part of Jaeger's head hitbox, so you have to shoot them actually in the skull now. But now it is 4-2 as the very first defense win has come through for Elevate GG, and that puts them on match point. They are going to be thrust onto an attacking round here, and they will be going up against Infamy's upstairs defense, as Infamy has opted to, instead of defend ventilation as it was unsuccessful, go back upstairs. However, neither of these teams have been successful in defense upstairs. So Infamy have got to show us something spectacular here to bring them back into this match. And more importantly, even if they do happen to win this round, it will be Elevate GG, again, thrust upstairs. They will be able to adapt. I mean, they will be given another opportunity to adapt to Infamy's very common attack strategy straight into offices.
I think what's also going to have to happen here from Infamy is they're going to need to start stepping it up. The other players right now, as we saw, easily coming out on top with 10 kills. The next person on the team, I think, had 4. This is where you need to have the rest of your team start stepping up. Yes, it's okay to have 1 or 2 support players that don't necessarily get the forefront of the kills, but when you're not having an abundance of kills throughout your team, it seems like that's what might be ending their first map here momentarily.
Yeah, sometimes the scoreboard needs to be a little bit more level than it is. And the Valkyrie Cam will go down any second down. Laxing knocks it out of the park, eliminating that Valkyrie Cam once and for all. And establishing, don't belittle the importance of that, however, because the north balcony visual control for Infamy being gone now is going to allow Laxing in all likelihood to establish himself onto that B bomb site window and apply a lot of pressure on Infamy's defense.
Now we will have Vandal having that Ash Charge up underneath of him. He actually eats it in the foot, and that's going to do about 70 damage. England going to try to pop his drone in here. He's going to spot out the bandit, tosses a grenade, and that will be the end of Vandal. And there it is. England, though, picking up that first kill of the round. This looking like it might be an Elevate successful take here. You do have the smoke, though, going to drown out the shots there of England. This gasses him out for a good chunk of his health. Flashbang's coming on out. Sky is going to try to push on over. However, Biologic says, I'm going to challenge you on that. And it does not get the shots down. That counted. He will be down and now finally taken out for the kill as Skies tags him, but we will have easily taken him out. Shuttle, though, picking up that kill into Biologics. 4 on 2 now that easily has fallen. Nifty and Beastly, last 2 alive there, going to have to clutch this if they want to keep their team in the lead or in the shot to try to get this map underway. Now a 4 on still 2. We have a minute and a half left to go. This is looking like it's going to be an Elevate take. And right there, Beastly trying to play underneath, and we have 2 C4s. We have 1 on Pulse, 1 on Mira, but again, not going to be the easiest task to perform.
They could bring it back here if someone tries to push in through that B bomb site window, or sorry, B bomb site wall. He will be intercepted by Beastly from below, and then there's still the potential of a defuse stop from the C4 on that Pulse. However, the Pulse needs to be active about that, and it looks like this is,
He's gonna have to toss it up right now. Can it go over top? It's going for the toss and misses its target. The diffuser will get planted. Nifty also using his own C4 and haven't tagged a single soul. So that means it's a 4 on 2 gunfight about to ensue. You've got about 40 seconds left to go after that diffuser gets planted. England trying to hold the close right corner. You've got Laxing in the doorway, Chapstick in the window. This is not something that we're going to see Mira most likely clutch. Beastly's going to have to be the one to get this underway.
It would be extremely impressive to see. Yeah, no, that's Nifty being picked off, and now it's Beastly in a 1 versus 4.
He's going to swing on around, and Shuttle comes on peeking around the hallway there, and he will get that bearing 9 kill into Beastly's face, and we're going to see Elevate secure map number 1. We're going to get on map number 2 here momentarily.
Yeah, that was some impressive play from Elevate GG to lock that out, and an excellent try from Infamy. Again, for the most part, the majority of their players are for the first time playing in the Pro League for the first time, so, on PC. So it is...
I love that thermite, by the way.
Yeah, no, it is wonderful. So it is impressive that they did manage to pick off 2 rounds from Elevate, as Elevate is a very strong roster, and they have been for a long time.
Yeah, definitely we saw Elevate step it up a bit. I like seeing Chapstick's compliment to the team.
I'm also pretty sure that Easily used to play for Elevate, and dropping 11 frags against the team that you just left. I mean, despite the fact that you lost the map, I mean, that's still kind of, you know, like...
Kind of is like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But we are going to take a look at some of the highlights from that last map, and I think there were quite a few.
Yeah. That was a fantastic map, to say the least. As you said, oh, here's the first one to start us off. That was on round numero 1. That was some great play from Skies, and Easily there, meanwhile, he applied a lot of pressure onto that B balcony. You could say easily, if it weren't for Easily, that they likely would not have won those attack rounds onto the armory.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it. I mentioned it that there wasn't any barbed wire. I double-checked right there on that first highlight. There was no barbed wire. The second time when Jay Shuttle pushed through, they did have it. Yeah. So they did adjust a little bit in scenarios, but ultimately it just didn't come out for them.
And then there's that clutch from Chapstick, and that's always great to see. Again, we talked about it earlier, how when a new player comes onto a roster, they do perform well, and Chapstick really shining through there in that moment.
Now, there's that wall bang from England, and that's just reaction. Now here, unfortunately, is that shoulder shot, I want to say.
I'm pretty sure it was a shoulder shot, yeah. It looks like he aimed for the earmuff.
Oh, the earmuff.
Yeah.
He tagged the earmuff.
Aimed for the earmuff, and he didn't hit the head because of it. Hit the shoulder, looks like. Maybe the front torso. Yeah, that's not part of the hitbox anymore, guys, so you do actually have to aim for the skull itself on the human.
Now we do have Easily, though, trying to get this shot. Comes up behind him and actually downs Chapstick, finished off.
Oh, no.
There it is, the drop shot from Laxing.
Good shot overall, even despite the fact that he did prone in the middle of it. It was a good shot.
Yes.
And here's that camera getting taken out by Laxing.
Production is-
Shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots.
3 strikes and you're out. You don't get a 4th one.
Oh,
Nope.
on the 5th shot, he does it. I'm sorry, Laxing. Forgive me.
So
But
that is it.
That was a really well played match from Elevate GG.
It was. It was. They came out hard. They came out swinging, and it worked out very well for them. They took home map number 1. Map number 2 is going to be on Consulate. Now, Consulate's one of those maps that we've talked about oftentimes. Very versatile. We actually, I'll say, I don't know which bomb site they're going to be choosing because we've seen teams go through every single one. Typically, we see the top site being preferred.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 it's the top side, but you see each and every squad throughout the entire Pro League go to each and every different one of the bomb sites, really. I mean, even some of the more teams that predictably go to one or the other site, they will throw a middle bomb site in there, a lobby defense, because, hey, why not? You know, try to mix up their operator selection.
Yep.
We are going to be seeing upstairs defended first, though, from Elevate. That is going to be their first choice. Pulse, Smoke, Valkyrie, Jaeger, and I believe that was... well, I didn't actually catch the last one. It was a Bandit.
Bandit.
Coming out for Elevate GG, Sledge, Ash, Thermite, Blackbeard, and Hibana coming out for Infamy. Now, no real surprises on either of these two lineups, and we talked about it before. I mean, the meta is pretty much the same through and through on both Consulate and Border. They are similar maps in the way that they play. The Blackbeard is going to play probably a much more significant role on this particular map, however, as he is very good at denying a lot of window coverage for the defenders. You can plop him down there on that south balcony outside the A bomb site, for example, and he can establish a line of sight through those windows, through the connector door, through the second connector door, all the way down to yellow stairs door, and deny a lot of just 3 lanes of rotation for the defenders. And in the end, just apply so much pressure to the A bomb site that his teammates who are coming from the admin, more often than not, won't have a hard time.
I like that Val Kim. Look at that one.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of information for just one. It kind of looks like he was experimenting with it. I think he may have accidentally missed the corner that he was aiming for there. He went for the, you can see he went for the pickup, but unfortunately could not get it.
Yeah, now that high throw-through hole that we just saw Valkyrie making is to toss that C4 later on towards that corner office desk.
Yeah, and here you can see Infamy, they are setting themselves up for an attack. They have their Blackbeard on this A bomb site balcony, and they're going to be likely, we can't see them right now, but I can almost guarantee you that there's a lot of attackers pivoting around admin. Yep, there it is. They're going to be pushing their way in through admin. Now, once the Blackbeard establishes control on this A bomb site window, the guys coming from admin are going to establish control over the entire east side of the top floor of this building. And then it's just a simple matter of picking up the smoke in the A bomb site and then pushing in and getting that defuse plant as Blackbeard holds the rotation from B.
Now we still do have Skies and Laxing that are the roamers. Last seen, Sky was all the way downstairs. I think he's managed to make his way to the lobby. But right now we are just going to be seeing, again, easily trying to see if he can pick off the smoke that's inside of the site. He knows that there's typically someone behind that desk. He's got to figure out where, though.
The reason he's not getting off this rappel and he's not like getting onto the balcony itself is because that's a smoke in A bomb site. And the smoke, if allowed to trap you on the balcony itself, when you're not on the rappel as a Blackbeard, you can't escape his...
Oh! Gets rid of the shield, but doesn't tag the headshot, and unfortunately, Blackbeard will escape with his life.
Yeah, Blackbeard actually has 3 lives. That's how he works as an operator. So Chapstick picking off one of those lives early on is going to be really good for his team.
Now, Laxing was just down inside of the Visa office. You had Thermite outside the window, and I almost thought Ash was going to peek on down to see him. But it looks like that won't be the case just yet. 60 seconds left to go. There's the C4 from underneath. Sky's coming out strong, finishing off beastly. He's now going to rotate up the circle stairs here and go for the shots. Looks like we will see easily. There's that second life of that cat. He will down Chapstick, and right there he will be having finished off Shuttle. The double kill there onto England and Biologics. Chapstick still injured inside of the A site. I don't think they realize it just yet. Now Sky's going to go for the shot there on the Vandals. He peeks on out of that front office. Still a 4-on-3. Thermite will be taken up by Laxing here. And up from behind, Laxing gets a double kill. Last man alive is going to be easily. He comes on inside and will be taken out by Skies inside of the connector. And that's going to be round number 1 here, going to Elevate with authority.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we saw from Infinity was unfortunately just not kind of a half-hearted attack there. They were attacking into the admin and the A bomb site, or sorry, the B bomb site balcony. However, no, it's the A bomb site balcony. Forgive me. However, the thing is that they skipped a couple steps there. They didn't establish control over Visa early on, which meant that the Skies was allowed to C4 underneath the players who were pushing into reception. Now, you have to take control of Visa before you take control of admin, for fear of that pulse. And that, obviously, Elevate just showed us exactly why. And then more importantly, Chapstick playing that smoke in the A bomb site denied pretty much wholeheartedly that Blackbeard access to the A bomb site itself until the very last second. He got rid of both of his shields, and then Blackbeard was just another operator without any indestructible face. So going into any average fight, he's going to be at I wouldn't say a disadvantage, but no severe advantage. So especially even apart from that, the guys coming from admin, they unfortunately weren't able to make any picks really happen for the Infamy loadout. So just kind of an attack without teeth there. I like the mirror windows that are coming out from Nifty here on the hallway, the north hallway of the basement defense. Also, we as well talk about the fact that we are seeing a basement defense here from Infamy instead of an upstairs defense for their first round now on defense. Elevate GG, though I'm sure it was probably Infamy just trying to mix up that operator selection. Elevate GG have brought all they need to the board to make this happen. There is no Thatcher, however, on Consulate there are ways to get rid of those bandit batteries on the balcony, or sorry, on the garage without a Thatcher.
Now it looks like we will see easily getting picked right off by Laxing after getting that window a little late. And unfortunately, that will be the fate of Valkyrie falling to Blackbeard.
And you can't even blame it on the Blackbeard shield in that situation, as I don't think, or no, he did have it on. He did have it on, so you can't blame it on the Blackbeard shield in that situation.
Honestly, I think it was just being there late. That's one of those spots you need to get there early, open up the barricade without touching the window.
Well, you don't always. Sometimes it's better to be a little spontaneous with it. I mean, it really comes down to the fact that you're dealing with these pro players that have dealt with that exact spawn peak time and time again. And if you don't catch them off guard, then it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to lose that fight. So that's it's kind of went the way that we were expecting to go, easily getting picked off there. And Valkyrie, unless she's gotten all three of her, as long as she's gotten all three of her cameras off, that's not the end of the world.
Have located a bomb.
Now it looks like we have two roamers. That's going to be Beastly and Vandal. Beastly and Vandal both going to be on the first floor. He's now we see Beastly right now on the east corridor, looking towards the back double windows. Will Shuttle come on swinging through. Sky's coming on the yellow stairs at the moment, still that first floor. He's going to rotate up the stairs as Beastly's still looking here. And I want to say he will get droned out there by Shuttle. Now that's going to force him to rotate on over. They're holding on to Visa very significantly. Nifty, however, will be injured. Looks like he'll get picked back up here momentarily. He's waiting for a push on in. Chapstick has managed to open up the garage wall.
I've got you, mate. No need to worry.
And now we've got Infamy trying to move on forward. Shuttle coming on out and Laxing as well, getting a kill there on a Nifty. A 4-on-2 now that Vandal's finally come out of the woodwork to pick up England. Shuttle now will fall to Vandal yet again. That's another kill here for the Jaeger as he's inside of the main lobby. 3-on-2 at the moment. Biologic trying to hold down the fort, but it looks like the diffuser will get planted to the right side of garage, right behind the black car. Now Laxing has backed his way on out, and he's going to move on over to the top staircase. He won't necessarily see the bomb, but he's looking to the right side of Van as Chapstick will be following that bomb site. Biologics will tag that kill into Skies, trying to even out man count, but again, they've got about 30 seconds to go. Laxing is covering this shot into Biologics. One shot from Blackbeard's gun, and Biologics will fall. And unfortunately, it looks as though the shots will be coming out here. Looks like Chapstick gets injured. Laxing will take out Vandal, however, and that will be Laxing getting the double kill to finish off the round, and we're going to have Elevate secure round number 2.
So a very standard take from Elevate overall, just simply opening up that garage wall, taking control of Piano, establishing dominance over the top of the bomb site, pushing those anchors back, and then getting the defuse plant. There wasn't a lot of variation there, and just a distinct lack of aggression from Infamy. I mean, they were really trying to get that aggressive play out. They went for those pushes. They had those roamers apply the pressure. I mean, we even had, I think it was, who was it? It was Vandal. Vandal applied quite a lot of pressure to the Elevate attack there. However, it just wasn't enough. As we talked about earlier, sometimes when not everyone on your team is stepping up in the moment, it can really cause you guys to, really cause the squad to fall apart. And that's what we're seeing, I think, from Infamy there.
Yeah, I think Elevate, they realized that they had two roamers, but they picked off one, and like I said, Vandal was still up top. They pushed at the right time. Like, we wasn't down to the last final seconds of the round, I don't recall. And so Vandal doing his thing and getting the kills that he needed to is exactly what he had to. But again, we saw Elevate just push earlier onto the site, and ultimately it screwed up Vandal's timing. He didn't get back onto site in time.
Yep. And now Elevate GG, they are going to be going down into their basement defense as they were, successful on the upstairs defense. They, instead of, I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that they didn't decide to try and bring us to like a lobby defense and try to mix things up. They're going to go for the more staple defenses here. I mean, a lot of teams, they are really good at proficient at defending lobby, just as proficient as they would be at defending basement or upstairs. However, I mean,
it seems like it's more of a gamble from time to time, not necessarily knowing your opponents 100%.
yeah. I think, and it could be a gamble for both teams. It could be a gamble for the attackers and the defenders because sometimes the attackers aren't as proficient at attacking a lobby as they would be in upstairs or a defense hold or basement hold. Blah blah.
Now, it looks like we will be seeing Infamy push their way into the main lobby as well as Piano. They've taken over the first floor, but again, it looks like we're going to see some split tactics here. We've got Laxing, however, he's by the soda machines and Visa, and he will pick up the first kill there onto Beastly, looking all the way down through the back hallway, as Easly's also trying to engage in the fight right now. Biologic's probably going to hop into the window here shortly. Laxing still going for this one tap here, and it looks as though it won't be successful just yet. Still 2 minutes left to go, and we're going to be watching here Biologics as he comes on over. Looks like we might get some drop hatches opened up.
A very standard take coming out here from Infamy. However, a lot less aggression onto the garage wall than what we were seeing from Elevate. Could still yet happen for Infamy. However, they're getting picked apart one by one, and that's the thermite gone just now. That means that it's going to be very difficult. I think they actually may have opened the wall. I can't quite tell from this angle.
They very well might have. Easily, though, we'll take that L87 to finish off Chapstick behind the white van. Now, Vandal's still trying to do some work here inside of that piano room in the hallway, opening up the floor. Laxing, however, is still inside of Visa. Biologics will take that shot from Habana onto Skies and finish him off. Now a 3-on-3.
Biologics is cautious of the flank. He knows it's coming, but he's going to have to deal with two different roamers, I believe, Laxing being one of them.
Now, it looks as though Biologics, that Habana, has hopped on out of Piano. He's coming around towards the garage. You can see the garage wall has been opened up. Just waiting for the call that white van is clear. We might see him push on in, but inside a kitchen and through that rotate hole is where Biologics might be picked off from. We are going to see the plant try to go down here, and it looks as though shots are going to go flying his way, but not going to tag him just yet. Plant will be successful. Laxing now needs to come on back from the third floor, down all the way. England will get down, but not out at the moment, and we will see Biologics finish him off. He's going to skedaddle out on the garage. Laxing now coming down the yellow stairs as Shuttle missed that target. A 3-on-2. Vandal still playing above. This is looking very good here for Infamy. They've got the coverage from Vertical. Now it's all up to Shuttle, who's downstairs in garage. Laxing trying to peek on right next to him. He's going to go for the shots there. Takes out the kill there onto Vandal. He is going to be the last one alive, though, in a 2-on-1. Bio and Easily are both very drastically hurt. Claymore kill, though, from Nifty will finish off Laxing, and we're going to have Infamy successfully attacking the garage.
Yeah, and you could attribute that really just to the two in the late game. There was too heavy of a roam game coming out from Elevate GG. Unfortunately, they didn't have anyone in a position to stop that diffuser plant straight in front of the white van. The vertical control being applied from the buck in the piano room pushed anyone who could have been in that position on the defensive squad out of the way, which allowed Infamy to get the defuse plant, as well as just some good gunplay overall from that Habana. Kind of opened up things quite a lot for Infamy. I mean, getting those 2 picks early on. I think it was maybe even 3 picks for Infamy. That was some good play there from Biologics. Now we're going to be seeing Infamy going back onto the basement defense. This is where they went the first time, and they were unsuccessful. So they're going to keep trying to hash it out, trying to make this work before they opt to go ahead, move to any of the other bomb sites. A very rigid playstyle coming out from both of these teams on Consulate, one of the least rigid maps in the game. It's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, and you say least rigid. I agree. This map is very fluid in its movement for the defenders as well as the attackers. It just lends a lot of rotation with 3 stairwells that go from top to bottom of the site. Many other maps have either 2, 1, or 2.5 stairwells. This has 3 full stairwells, 1 at each end and 1 in the center.
Lots of Valkyrie camera coverage outside, and that's actually what we see a lot of on this garage defense. It just kind of gives you information when you're going to be expecting those diffuser plants. Like we saw Elevate GG on that last round when they were defending into the basement. They lost it because they didn't know that there was a diffuser being planted right in front of White Van because they didn't have anyone in position to hear it or be able to see it or just stop it in any way. Now those Valkyrie cams, you know, when you throw a couple outside the garage, that kind of lends you that information that you really need to know. It's like, hey guys, they're planting in front of White. Elevate is cautious of those windows above the garage, as they know that that is usually where you get peeked on outside as an attacker.
Now, we do see Elevate, again, formulating themselves, looking like they're going to be top floor, trying to take over the main floor, not top floor. And they have successfully done that. So we're going to see this fort start to get opened up above white. And however, we do see some shots coming out from Easily, trying to floor bang Shuttle right underneath of him.
Actually, that was shots from, I think, England going up onto Easily. But yeah, they're conscious of each other being, they're conscious of the roamer, and the roamer is conscious of them being down in piano, and they're just kind of looking to see who's going to get that frag and put their team in the advantage early on into this round. I say early on. Half of the round has concluded already, and Easily is still wasting quite a lot of time for the attacking squad. I like that angle from Vandal down into the lobby there.
There's two roamers upstairs. We have Easily and Vandal. Still causing a lot of chaos and a lot of hesitation here from Elevate. We are going to have 3 members from Elevate inside of the main lobby here in the piano room. That's going to be Skies, England, and Shuttle. Laxing and Champs looking like they're going to be forcing their way into Garage. But with 1:10 left to go, it's going to be up to the other members of Elevate to try to take away some of these angles, but they do need to be wary of the 2 members of Infamy above. That's Easily. He's now going for the first peek there into England. He's going to go for the shot, sees him again, and it looks like we will have England come out on top with a kill. Vandal's going to get 1 kill of his own here, taking out Shuttle, Laxing, and Vandal now going to go for even more. And that's going to be a double kill there by Vandal as he takes out England for the count. Now a 3-on-3, Diffuser has successfully been planted. Basically going to come out of the yellow stairs as Laxing is in his typical spot on the right stairwell.
Now, 9 times out of 10, as soon as the diffuser's been planted, it does go to in this situation, it does go to the attacking squad. And as we can see, one by one, these last Infamy defenders are being picked off. Laxing likely to get this kill onto Nifty and lock out this round for Elevate GG. Now, that's likely, it's going to be almost certainly a 3-1.
Yep, so here it is. That will be the final shots from Skies.
Yep.
And there we go.
I mean, as soon as you get that diffuse plant in front of white, as soon as that one factor happens, whether it be 1 person alive or 2 people alive on the attacking squad, they can more often than not hold against 4 or 5 defenders. I mean, pushing outside onto that garage, even if you have information as a defender, is extremely difficult. The angles you have to play with, contest, are they're just painful. So, I mean, that kind of went the way that we were expecting it to go. However, it was interesting. Infamy had more in position to stop a diffuse plant than we saw Elevate had in position when Elevate was thrust onto that basement or that same exact defense. I mean, Elevate just kind of let it happen in front of white, whereas Infamy, they got that smoke grenade or smoke canister down to try and stop it. It was just a little bit too late.
So I'm taking a look here. We are going to see the bomb site go, I believe that was upstairs, if I remember.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing upstairs from Elevate GG, as it's not ranked. You know, the way that Pro League works is that as soon as you win a site, yes, you can't go to it the next round, but it opens back up whether or not you win your next defense. So, going upstairs, Elevate GG are putting themselves in a position here to put them to get into 4-1, which would be match point for this particular, and match point and series point for this entire matchup.
Now, last time we saw Infamy try to take over this site, it was actually an admin team. It was from the east end of the map, trying to push their way into the A site. And it looked like it was going well for them, but then they just seemed to get a little complacent. And we saw, I believe it was Skies come up the yellow stair, come up the circle stairs in the middle, and he took off 1 or 2 kills, and ultimately it just didn't flow past the first half of the round.
Yeah, and also equally on the Infamy side of things, we didn't see Easily able to apply the same kind of pressure that he was applying on Border when he was playing on that A bomb site balcony. He didn't kill the smoke in the site itself, and he didn't cut off the rotation from the connector, and unfortunately just couldn't do what he needed to do. But it looks like we are going to be seeing Infamy mixing up their attacks here on the top floor. They are opting to go for a B bomb site take here, as they have put Easily on these B windows to start applying that pressure.
Now we are going to see Easily on this corner off his window. Jay Shuttle is going to be actually, I believe he's in the lobby or yellow stairs. He is inside of the lobby right underneath the camera. And right now he's just going to hold on to it for the moment. Beastly still trying to work his way in on the north double windows right by circle stairs. Right, he's getting a little bit of intel before he pops on in. Last time we saw Laxing here inside of Visa, he was all the way down in the corner. We were just watching him here, and he picked off 1 kill and caused a lot of distraction for Infamy. Shuttle, though, will take 1 nade to the feet, and that will do massive damage to him. He's not going to go for the peek here. Could he see Nifty? He sees the shots onto him, trying to tag him.
Oh.
Will get him down. 4-tap there.
Who needs an ACOG? Nice shot from Shuttle, the red dot king.
There he goes. Now Vandal will spot him out there on top of the yellow stairs, and we will see him situate himself there for the moment. Enemy has been detected outside. It looks like Biologics go for the knife there on the Shuttle.
The trade back. Was the
He
shuttle
hopped on
trying
out
to
of the
run
window.
out?
I think he hopped on out either the
Oh,
yellow
no.
stairs.
A little bit too much aggression there from Shuttle is going to bring the man advantage back into, well, now decisively in the favor of Infamy as Beastly and Vandal pick off England and Chapstick.
So Skies and Laxing, the two paired roamers, are going to be the last two alive. Laxing just saw a couple bullets fly his way, but unfortunately will not do too much. Now Skies gets that C4 kill into Biologics. You've got Easily, Beastly, and Vandal. Last three alive. Looks as though we will have Laxing getting taken out by Vandal inside of the main lobby. 3-on-1 now. Sky's going to be the last man alive. Top of yellow stairs. Diffuser right behind the B side. Easily going for the peek there. Goes for the headshot and gets it successfully. We will have Infamy taking round 5.
Yeah, and that you could see was a little bit of too much overconfidence coming out from Elevate GG. They thinking to themselves, all right, we won the last one 5-2, and now we're up really hard. But at the same time, they're just, they're playing a little bit too aggressive. Shuttle trying to either he vaulted out that window or he died on the window and somehow his ragdoll fell out.
Vaulted out because there wasn't enemy detected at the time of that kill.
Pretty sure he vaulted out that window. A little bit too aggressive there. Then you had Laxing downstairs playing really, really sporadically, trying to move himself about aggressively, and just overall, just kind of a little bit overconfidence coming out from Elevate. And it is going to put them now on 2-3. Now this is where they need to check themselves and start making this comeback happen, or not really comeback, just start to secure these rounds and lock things out here. And now Infamy, they're going to be defending the main lobby. This is the first time we've seen this site defended thus far in this particular matchup. The scoreboard's looking a little bit different than what we were seeing in, Border earlier in this particular match.
Yeah, for Infamy, we're going to see Vandal actually coming out on top with 7 kills and easily second place with 3 kills at the moment.
Yeah, this is, I mean, everyone prefers different maps, right? And it does sometimes come down to particular player preferences. Now, I'm curious to see how exactly, we talked about how sometimes attack squads aren't really used to attacking this particular floor, and I find that this is one of the least predictable ways, whether it be on the defensive side or the attacking side, I find this particular floor is one of the least predictable strategy-wise. So I'm really curious, especially curious to see how Elevate are going to be handling this attack. And I kind of see that it looks like Infamy right now, right off the bat, are setting themselves up in a very predictable defense where they invest heavily upstairs, so no surprises there. But how does how does Elevate specifically, how do they address this particular floor? And it looks like they might be pressuring onto the admin. This is the way that we see a lot of squads tend to take this particular defense, because you're trying to establish control over the top floor before you progress your way into the lobby itself, right? That's so you can deny that vertical pressure. And this is the way to do it, supposedly.
Now we are going to have Vandal and Easily, the two roamers above. Looks like Vandal gets spotted out by Soda. He's going to move in Mandel Hall. Easily, we saw earlier on during prep phase and into the early moments of the attack phase, he used up about, I want to say, 70% of his ammo trying to open up all the windows. So most likely, we're going to see a deagle fight out of him later on in the round.
I would hope so. It's always cool to see those 1-digs come out.
Now England has trapped Vandal into the bathroom, but Easily going to hold on to the clutch here, right on the top of yellow stairs. He picks off that kill into J Shuttle. However, England still looking for the kill. He knows now that we have one member. That's going to be the Vandal inside a bathroom. He's going to go for the push. England, though, will finish him off there. That's going to be one-on-one kill now. You still have Easily on the yellow stairs. He's might work his way up. No, I think he might have rotated back downstairs. So all the roamers have been cleared on out. However, that camera spot from the top, going to spot him in a connector, and Easily's going to go possibly for a C4 toss. There it is, goes for and barely tags him. Doesn't do all the damage that's needed, but that will force England out just a moment.
Didn't wait for the mark there, unfortunately, and now that means that it will still be a 4-on-4. The attackers have established some amount of control over the top floor above the lobby, which means they are going to be going for diffuser plant as they cover from above and from the front door.
Oh, and a very good shot by Laxing, taken to the head of Biologics. England will also get his own here onto Easily. The C4 kill coming out of Pulse, unfortunately, will not tag its target. Diffuser will get planted, a 4-on-2 at the moment. This is looking good here for Elevate.
Yeah, that's an extremely tight angle you need to hit that C4 on, and he just, unfortunately, we didn't see Beastly hit it. Skies will pick off Beastly before Nifty trades it back onto England, but he does get finally finished off by Skies from behind.
It's going to be a double kill to finish the round, giving it 4-2. Elevate leads on map number 2, and they've won map number 1, so this is now match point, series point we're seeing here from Elevate.
Yeah, Infamy have to do something spectacular here. They're going to be going on to attack now, and it's likely we will be seeing Elevate. They can pick any one of the bomb sites. They're all open to them right at this moment as they were unsuccessful defending upstairs. They are going to choose to go down to the garage. At least that's what it's looking like starting things off here.
Yeah, and they were successful, if I recall, top floor the first time.
Yeah, they were
which made them go down to the basement, and they were successful there as well.
No, they were
They were not.
unsuccessful on their basement defense, but they were successful on that first defense upstairs. They've had most success on the attack so far for Elevate GG, and now they are going back onto the basement. We'll see if they are able to make this work this time. And what happened last time, the reason they were unsuccessful here is because they had no real pressure to deny the plant in front of White Van. And the reason for that was because they forfeited piano control so early on into the round that the Buck, who was in playing at piano, opened up a lot of holes above the White Van through the floor and pushed all of the anchors that would have normally stopped that defuse plant back into the site. And then they were later picked off by other attackers.
5 seconds remaining.
You can see the scoreboard, Laxing stepping up, and as well as Vandal.
Attackers have
Pretty
recovered
slanted
their
scoreboards
diffuser.
there for right now.
I mean, we see it coming out there on the Elevate side, the Laxing and Skies combination. 10 and 7 kills apiece, top of the leaderboard. That is due a lot in part to their roaming game together, being able to crossfire with one another and capitalize and trade off the kills when time is needed.
I've talked to a lot of pros, and a lot of them do feel like not only is, just, abstractly, not only is Skies and Laxing's roaming game really, really good, but a lot of people do feel like the roaming game is kind of defining the meta as it stands right now. It applies a lot of influence over how each and every one of these rounds play out. You're going to go for that little cam there a little bit late because he's like, all right, well, I need to have a cam above me, but I can't rotate up. It's too late into the round. We've already got a minute progressed, and we do have the attackers have pushed their way all the way into piano, and they are starting to open up those holes, looking for opportunities onto the anchors. Skies with some aggressive play here at the top of Vista Stair, well, at the middle of Spiral Stairs.
And it looks as though this is, again, that crossfire we were just talking about, Skies and Laxing. You've got Laxing inside of the Visa office as Skies is at the top of the stairs. So right now, if Beasley tries to crossfire and Beasley tries to cross into the line of sight, Laxing will be there to land the shots. He does go for a little peek there, and that's going to be the great communication between the two. Laxing just baited him out as Skies goes and peeks from the stairs. He does take massive damage, but he is docked, so he most likely will get down, pick himself back up, and be good to go, continue to live another day. Shuttle, however, will take down Vandal as we have Biologics trying to finish off Shuttle for the count. Now 4 on 3.
Yeah, Biologics last round, or last time they were on this attack, or last time Infamy was on this attack specifically, was the player who brought this back into Infamy's favor. However, England's going to pick off easily, and now a 2-on-4. It's looking like Biologics is going to have to kick it up into high gear to win this round and keep his team in this match.
Biologics is upstairs in the bathroom. Nifty gonna try to bait this push out from the Valkyrie. Goes for it and gets tagged down for the count, but that was actually from the yellow stairs. Biologic coming on, swinging through. He will be traded off by Laxing. A 3-on-1. Nifty now is giving away his position. The SMG-11 out of Chap 6 is gonna finish off the round, finish off the map, and finish off the series.
Yeah, Elevate GG walk away from this 2-0, and a very impressive display at that. Well played to them, and equally so, well played to Infamy. They did put up quite a fight. And coming out of the Challenger League, pushing into the Pro League, going up against a team like Elevate, no one really expects you to win. However, as long every single round you manage to shave off of a team like Elevate is just impressive just by itself.
And I think what we're going to be seeing here again from Infamy in the future is again some different plays, and we're going to continue to see them grow. I think that this being their first season in the PC Pro League, again, some of their players are from previous Xbox Pro League seasons. I want to see that they might still have a little bit of growth to do. But like you said, if you can take a map or take a round off of another top-tier Pro League team such as Elevate or Continuum or Flipside, whoever it may be, you're gonna get some props for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is what it is, and Elevate did come out on top.
Yep, so congratulations to Elevate winning the first best-of-3 series this evening. We're going to be taking a look at some highlights here from that final map in just a moment. But with that, that was Elevate showing us what we saw from them in Season 1. Showing that they can be very strong, that they do deserve to be one of the top-tier teams in the North American scene, and ultimately take them on any map and they're likely to succeed.
Obviously we talk about it a lot, but it is worth mentioning that a lot of these players involved in that particular matchup, both squads, were previously Xbox players, and having made that transition, it's so impressively so at that. I mean, each and every one of them, the amount of aim and the just skill and game sense that they managed to pick up right off the bat. Oh, here's the shot from Shuttle. Shuttle does play exclusively with Red Dot, by the way. I have no idea how he saw that thermite, but it was impressive all the same. Yeah, anyway, the adaptation and the changes that these players have managed to institute into their gameplay has been extremely impressive.
Yeah, I remember last season we had interviewed Laxing, and I had asked him about the transition on what he thought was the most difficult, what he thought what he was able to accomplish the easiest. He said understanding the sensitivity of the mouse, the keyboard, the controls was the first thing and the easiest thing he picked up on. It was about the game sense. It was about how to play the PC style as opposed to the Xbox style, which took the most time.
Yeah, they're a little bit different. Well, a little bit different. They're extremely different.
But ladies and gents, that is the end of the first Best of 3 series. Our next game up is going to be between Vertical Gaming and Ferocity Esports. So ladies and gents, please stick around as we will be back in a few short moments to finish off the second day of the North American Pro League scene of, again, the first games of Group B. So ladies and gents, stick around and we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second play day of the North American Pro League. My name is Sean Bloodbath Rosenbaum, and here is Kickstar back at it again, ready to go for some second round play.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for this next matchup, VG versus Ferocity. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, so VG had placed second in the North American Pro League last season, and ultimately they're going up against Ferocity, which was previously in the Pro League during Season 3, I believe. And then now they came out of the Challenger League at a second place, and they're here fighting again in the Pro League.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a good battle. I think it's gonna be, we could compare it to what we just saw from Elevate and Infamy. We have a situation where we've got a Titan that's been around for ages going up against a team that's been around but struggled in the past. At the same time, and what we've seen time and time again in these pro leagues is surprises. So I look forward to this matchup wholeheartedly.
I mean, surprises, we've seen that before we saw Omen actually. Omen didn't win against Flipside, but they did put up a big fight against them. On the second map, I think they took him to the 11th round.
Excellence beating Continuum this
That
season.
one?
Previous season, or actually I think it was a couple seasons ago, Elevate beating Continuum. I mean,
That was last season. That was
last
ominous
season
as well.
Yeah, that's some pretty big surprises.
That's one of the things I like seeing about that. Yes, we have our long-term giants. We've got Flipside. We've got Vertical Gaming. We've got Continuum. But we're also
I would
seeing
argue
these other
now
things.
we've got Elevate.
We do
as
have
well.
Elevate now. I would say Elevate as well. So what I like seeing is the stirrup that we've been seeing. To me, it adds a little bit of mystic.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of magic. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, again, we are going to be getting underway with Vertical Gaming and... Why am I drawing a blank on second game?
Ferocity.
Ferocity. I want to say Flipside for a second. Vertical Gaming and Ferocity. But we do have an interview lined up. Now, earlier today, we didn't have our earlier interviews due to the fact that Skype was having some issues. But we do have that fixed off now. And we're going to be getting underway with our interview with King George from Vertical Gaming here momentarily. King George, how are you doing today?
Hey, Blood, hey, Kicks. How's it going, guys?
We're doing splendid. Thanks for being here with us. So, Vertical Gaming, this is going to be your first game of this season. What did you guys do to prepare from your last season, also being at LAN, to get ready for this season?
Essentially, we tried to rework a bunch of our strats and stuff like that. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, last season, they worked really well, and we had a pretty, we made LAN, it seemed like, pretty easily, and we didn't run into too many problems with people counter-stratting them too much, and then we got to LAN, didn't change very much, and got hard counter-stratted, so we scrapped most of what we had last season in favor of all new stuff.
Gotcha. And with that reevaluation, have you also made any roster changes?
Yeah, we Snake retired and Adam went to F3, and we got Slash and Young from CTM.
Awesome.
So, and they've been working out really, really well.
Awesome. And so one of the things we like asking about new roster changes is how do you go about identifying a person or players that would fit well with your team? I know with Slash it might have been a little easier as he was previously on your team during their 6 Invitational, if I remember correctly.
Right. You look for players to fill a certain role. So like with Young, we're looking for somebody that was Young's one of the best anchors in the world, like no doubt about it. So it was like a no-brainer to get Young. And with Slash, we were looking for someone that brought like a lot of aggression to the team. So someone to like dual entry with Eclipse and stuff like that. And then also somebody that we brought on too is we got Ranger as a coach.
Okay.
So we have that. I think that helps a lot too. I know a lot of people were like, there's a few people that were saying like, why would somebody need a coach? But I don't know. I think it helps a lot. He does a great job.
So how about for the viewers who don't necessarily know the purpose of a coach or the role of a coach? Why don't you explain that to us? What does Ranger do for your team?
Ranger goes over all the VODs for all the teams for every league. That includes Latin America, that includes NA, EU, Challenger, CCS, whatever. All the different leagues, pretty much, he watches all the games. So it's really nice to have that perspective. It is literally impossible for us between practicing and doing everything else to watch all the games. So if we can get a nice like summary of the team that we're playing like the next week, and we have all the maps that they've played, we know what they ban, we know everything that saves us a lot of time. And also, like, I don't know, I trust Ranger's opinion on a lot of stuff too. So
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, is there anything you'd like to mention before we head on out here?
No, not really. Just hope everybody enjoys the game, and good luck to Effie.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, King George, and good luck to your team today.
All right. See you guys.
So there it is, Vertical Gaming, King George. They made a couple roster changes, but I think it sounded like one of his most important changes was the addition of Ranger.
Oh, well, Ranger as a coach, yeah.
Yes.
And here's their main lineup roster: King George, Avian, Young, Slashhug, and Eclipse. It's worth noting that Vertical Gaming, So they've been in the Pro League since the very beginning, since Season 1 itself. However, there is not a single original member left on this squad. The players who came in at the beginning have all since moved on and departed. Snake Nade was the very last one of them, and he has been replaced by the person who left the team previously, or, well, one of the players who left the team previously, Young or Slashhug, whichever you choose. And we talked about before, the North American Shuffle coming into play a lot here. I mean, we've seen a lot of these players on this team before. Young and Slashhug left this team previously, only to come back. I mean, Avian even left the team once, only to come back.
So I think what it is like we see these roster changes. I mean, you pointed out that there's no original members anymore left on this team, but almost everyone has been on this team. Original from Season 1, basically.
Yeah, since the very beginning.
I mean, when you go through this kind of roster change and you go through all these different players joining and leaving, coming back, it's almost like this is the team. I mean, this is the team now anyways.
I think that the way they've worked through, I mean, they've been put through the course in the grain, and now they're at the point at which it's like, okay, this is a squad that we can work with. This is a squad we're happy with. This is a squad we like playing with. So I think that we're going to see great things from Vertical Gaming going into the season.
Yes, moving on to our next team, Ferocity Esports. We do have an interview lined up with one of their members. Let's take a look on over there. How are you doing today, Dave?
Doing all right, Bloodbath. How about you?
Awesome. Glad you could join us here. So tell us a little bit about Ferocity Esports and your roster tonight.
I just want to clear one thing up. Ferocity Esports, this Ferocity, it's a completely different org, just under the same name as FPSZ's old team.
Oh, okay.
I know there's a lot of confusion with that, but yeah, this is Infrared. It started as Infrared with King Leo. So King Leo, Santa, Achieved, Crusher, and as well as one other member that I'm blanking out on right now. But ever since then, they've made, since Challenger League have done roster changes, and they brought me and Moss on board.
Okay.
As I was the latest addition after Moss. Me and Moss were former teammates as well in Vision Gaming. But all of us have gone through that iteration of Challenger League and making it now into Pro League. And we've been a solid team together for about a month and a half now.
So do you feel like the experiences that you had in the Challenger League, you'll be able to incorporate some of those strategies or some of those experiences here in the Pro League? Or if you had to scrap many things and try to start fresh?
For sure, the Challenger League definitely helped with getting used to the competitive settings, competitive play in general, competitive pacing. But with all these new, we're playing a lot different players, a lot higher caliber players. So there's a big difference when you're jumping from Challenger League to Pro League. And we're coming in as underdogs against VG, which are these towering giants of competitive play. So, I mean, having that underdog mentality definitely gives us some type of, I guess, motivation to do even better and outshine what people are expecting from us today.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is with that underdog feeling on your shoulders, or the underdog persona that it seems you might be having, do you feel the need to step it up and show people that you do deserve to be in the Pro League? And I would argue that, yes, you guys do. You got in the Challenger League, but your thoughts, obviously, are yes, you deserve to be here, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've worked really hard to get to where we are right now. Months of scrimming, weeks of scrimming, dry runs, all of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you to you and your team. Is there anything else you'd like to mention today before we head on out?
I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Ferocity Nation, Jerky Pro as well, one of our sponsors, and shouts out to Sweater.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Dave, and good luck to your team today.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, good thing to note, Ferocity Esports that we previously saw in the Pro League is not this same Ferocity Esports.
No, just the same name, different sponsor as it turns out. Here's their lineup: Kingilo, Dave, Moss, Santa, Trippin. I've seen a lot of these players play before, and players to note, I would say, like players like Moss are just insanely good at aggro, similar to what we saw from like Chapstick, for example, or Skies. But overall, as we heard Dave say, these guys are coming in from Challenger League, going up against VG, and they do come off as sort of an underdog squad. They've got a lot to prove today. They've got a lot to show us that they are capable of competing at this level. And of course, you know, they are. I mean, they made it through in spot number 2, at least in the Challenger League. So that's in something just by itself.
Yeah, I mean, so that is a feat, obviously. And so we're looking for some good stuff from them today. They have said that they've been working hard the past few months to try to get themselves prepared for today's matchup. Now, again, like you see on your screen right now, the stats are all blank. They're all zeros. They're all NAs. And that is because the stats that we show here on stream for the time being are seasonal stats. This is the first time that we're going to see Ferocity Esports in the Pro League this season. And therefore, we have no no hard statistics to show you guys today.
We will surely down the line going into further play days.
Yes.
So this squad, these two teams going up against each other, it's going to be. I think we're going to see a lot of aggro coming out from the Ferocity lineup. The way that the Challenger League tends to play out, or what we've seen them play out in the past, is a little bit more aggressive than what we're used to seeing from Pro League. However, there is that underdog mentality that we heard Dave talk about earlier.
Yep.
And sometimes that can get a little bit stuck in your mind when you're going into a match like this and can force you to play differently than you're used to in normal circumstances. And going up against Vertical Gaming, I think that might play a little bit into Ferocity's gameplay. Well, I mean, we'll find out in due time, of course.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
What we have for Vertical Gaming is a good balance. And I think overall, the roster that they've landed with now, which, again, through a lot of trial and tribulation and just, changes overall. I think the roster that Vertical has found themselves on with right now is absolutely extremely well balanced. They have a lot of aggression coming out from Avian and pocket aggression, where he's just spontaneously, he's got these great plays.
Yep.
You've got Eclipse, who is just kind of usually aggressive by himself, going for the pushes. You've got King George, who is a very consistent player. I mean, overall, just this whole squad. Young, also a rock of a player. I mean, the two players I've seen coming out of the North American Pro League that have been just as solid as someone like Young is K9. K9,
Yep.
he's one of those.
They're one of the dependable players that you
Yes.
can always say, yes, we expect you to do this, and they always deliver on it.
Yeah, and then Slashhug coming back to this roster. Slashhug gets a lot of hate. He gets a lot of hate. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like he's a very consistent player, and I feel like coming back to this team, he's gonna be somewhere where he's more comfortable and he'll be able to perform. But here we have the map bans going into this matchup, and we'll see exactly where it is these two teams decide to bring us.
Yep, so Ferocity Esports is going to start out with the bans. Banning these maps back and forth, I feel like we're, again, not going to see Coastline. This is a map, I don't see Vertical Gaming playing on Coastline. Whether or not they're the ones going to ban it, who knows. But Vertical Gaming has not necessarily, I don't see them picking that map. I see them liking the cafes, I see them liking the clubhouses, the Oregons, the consulates, but not Coastline, not necessarily Bank. I think we're going to see some pretty, some pretty standard maps, we'll say.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think we're going to see pretty standard maps. Bank being banned out by Vertical, Clubhouse by Ferocity. And I'm guessing it's going to be Coastline and Skyscraper banned by Vertical. I think that if any team's going to want to bring us to a map that's a little bit abnormal, it's going to be Ferocity. However, that could be not the case, as Coastline gets banned out by Ferocity. So turns out Ferocity doesn't want to be taking any of that risk or any of that gamble here going into this particular matchup.
And I think some of the thought process behind that might have been that Vertical Gaming, because they've been in the Pro League each and every season, they have a lot of strategies and a lot of versatility on many of the core maps, so they could have been spending the offseason working on Coastline. Whereas Ferocity, coming out of the Challenger League, had to, like they said, work on a variety of maps, and that's why they might not be going for those newer ones.
It's entirely possible. Cafe being banned out by Vertical Gaming and Coastline being banned out a second time by Ferocity. That's an impressive feat. I didn't know that was possible. That's actually Consulate. Consulate has just been banned out by Ferocity. So it's Coastline, Consulate, and Clubhouse being banned out. There we go.
There we go.
Problem solved. Bank and Cafe for Vertical Gaming, and I'm guessing Skyscraper is going to be our last ban here. And if that is the case, we will be seeing Oregon, Chalet, and Border. 3 very commonly played maps. 3 maps that I think they're all pretty good, well-rounded maps. I think Oregon's probably on the bottom end of that spectrum.
There's that Skyscraper ban. I was contemplating whether or not they might ban Chalet. Chalet's been a map they've loved, but I believe we also saw previously, I want to say possibly in the LAN, that they did decide to ban Chalet, which is a little bit off-putting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not what we expected to see, but I think the squad they were going up against was also very proficient on Chalet. So, Border, Chalet, and Oregon now.
Those
and
are
I'm guessing, I'm guessing we're gonna see Chalet and Border picked, and then Oregon's gonna be our decider map.
I think Oregon kind of lends itself to be that decider map, being as it is a map that we see often enough that every team has a strategy for, and it's not necessarily one-sided one way or the other. We typically see teams winning and defending on both sides, on attacking both.
Right. So I'm guessing we're going to see Chalet picked from Vertical Gaming. That's my bet. And then for Ferocity, they could go either way. They might try to throw the mix-up in, bring it to Oregon, but I don't think you're going to want to bring Vertical to Oregon. And then, Border's a little bit more of a well-balanced map, I would say, for both these teams.
Yeah.
It's really tough to call. I mean, overall, all 3 of these maps, you're going to have a lot of proficiency coming out from Vertical Gaming. And I want to touch on the proficiency of Ferocity, but I mean, it's comparing Ferocity to Vertical is just a little bit weird.
We'll have to make that comparison once we see how they play, because
Yeah, exactly.
this is the first time we've seen these two teams play together in this sort of setting.
Ooh. Okay, so Chalet being picked up by Ferocity Esports to start things off here. Now, that's really interesting. In the past, we have seen time and time again throughout the entire Pro League, since Season 1, Vertical Gaming has been that team that really likes Chalet. And yes, mind you, there are none of those original members from Season 1 still on the Vertical Gaming team. However, their meta has stayed very similar. The way that they teach each other, the way that they play with each other, and the way that these rounds play out for Vertical Gaming has stayed pretty similar to what it used to be way back in the beginning. So, Chalet being picked out by Ferocity Gaming is a very risky play there. Vertical Gaming are going to pick Border. That's going to put Oregon on our decider map. No surprises there on that particular pick. However, Chalet, I think Ferocity might have just done something bad for them. However, they obviously are very confident on that map.
I'm thinking about what King George had said in the interview. We're going to get into the game momentarily, but I'm thinking about what King George had just said in the interview about how they had to scrap a lot of their strats. They scrapped a lot of them and said we had to reinvent the wheel. We had to recreate some of our playbook. And I'm thinking that maybe that's why Ferocity's thinking, okay, they're going to be up in the air. They might not be as proficient because they don't have those long-standing strats. They're now working with something new. So we're going to get underway here and see just how that happens. The operator selection phase has chosen. We are going to have the Jaeger, the Valkyrie, the Mira, the Bandit, and the Castle to start out here on Chalet.
So talking about our normal
I
straps,
love this. I love it.
So there's no surprises coming out here. I mean, you know, bar defense and gaming room defense. Obviously, this is the most commonly seen defense on Chalet. 9 times out of 10, we see this defended first round. No, I'm playing. This is a great surprise here coming out from Ferocity Gaming to start things off. Going to that bar gaming defense, this is just so abnormal, to say the least. I mean, absolutely. We don't see this almost ever on Chalet.
We just saw Eclipse's drone go into the gaming room doorway and back on out. He's probably like, wait, there's a bomb here.
Yeah, what's going on? Surprise, surprise, Eclipse. We are going to be you are going to be attacking onto a gaming room.
I'm really loving this attempt. Now, I hope it works out for him. We're going to stay tuned and see. But ultimately, they're setting the bar high right away.
Well, they're setting the bar high, but it might be a plastic tube is the thing rather than a solid bar, because yes, this defense is something we don't see a lot of, but at the same time, Vertical Gaming, they know how to adapt, they know how to adjust to the situation, and they're going to be able to handle this attack. They are going to start themselves out here on the north balcony, progressing into the master and the office is going to try and establish that upstairs control before they progress their way onto library. Taking control of library is essential to this take. If you don't, then the defenders can just deny your defuse plant from above.
I think we only had one member on site for Ferocity. I think that was going to be the Mira. That is Santa. He's the only one on site at the moment, which means we've got 4 roamers, 2 above, 2 below. Dave's working on the back stairwell as we have Trippin and King Leo here inside of the library and the cubby.
The attackers are going to have to contest with this mirror window, but they're going to open up the wall next to it with that Ash charge. That's going to allow them to challenge this Bandit directly. However, it will still be the advantage for Trippin as he has that Peeker's advantage.
Slash's drone will spot out the top defender there, and that's going to be the Bandit that's tripping right behind the wall. King George trying to hold off the balcony from the office. Now he's looking for a rotation out from the doorway. King Leo looking like he might want to go for the peek there. Avian, though, he's going to go for a little engagement. Sledge will be the first man down as Dave peeks on out, but he will instantly get traded back by King George. Slash going to try to rush on in here after he plays those flashbangs down. You can see him rearing to go. Going for a little jiggle peek, and now he's going for the drop shot here right onto the back stairwell. Won't see anyone, and backs on out to the kitchen stairs. Avian going to drone out for Slash, giving the AOK to push on in, but it looks as though King George playing the Blackbeard on that balcony again will pick off Trippin. We get an instant trade, though, as Slash will fall to Moss, and the C4 from Moss will also take out King George on the balcony. That's going to be the diffuser planted, or the diffuser downed outside. Avian's got to go and pick that up as Young moves on forward.
Moss with the nutty plays right when it needs to happen is going to put them in a defending squad in a great position here to lock out this round as King Leo picks off Young. Now a 1 versus 3. Oh, King Leo!
King Leo coming out strong with a double headshot to take round number 1 here into Ferocity Esports' hands.
That was some great gunplay there to lock things out. Oof, that snap. Now that is Ferocity Esports doing the unbelievable, winning on the unpredictable bomb site in that bar gaming room.
I think it was a metal bar that time. They
Yes.
were pretty high on that one.
It was a solid metal bar there. Yeah, absolutely. Platinum, definitely. That was a great defense there from Ferocity, and a poor adaptation from VG. I mean, I like the way they were trying to handle that attack, and I think that might have worked for them. However, that Moss disruption coming from the main lobby,
Attackers
just
need
at
to
the
locate
wrong
and defuse
moment,
bombs.
you could see there. VG obviously was not prepared for Moss to be running into main lobby. They weren't prepared for that C4 to come up. They weren't prepared to receive bullets in the butt from downstairs. And now, VG are going to opt to defend the kitchen trophy room, rather than the basement, or I can't believe I'm saying this, but the bar gaming room.
So the kitchen trophy is again one of the most preferred bomb sites that we've typically seen. We are starting to see a little bit more variation in it, though. We're starting to see more roamers. We're starting to see some variations with holding it up top a little bit better, a little bit more ferocity.
We talked about it earlier, but the roaming game is kind of defining the meta as it stands right now in Siege. When you're dealing with things like Blackbeard, one of the only ways to really handle him as an operator is to get to his flank. So you have to maintain that roamer game. There's other factors involved, like for example, when the attackers have situated themselves above kitchen, they've given themselves so much control, especially with that fuse and that buck, that you have to be able to have someone in a position to challenge them directly rather than from below. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but yeah, the roam game on this map is essential.
Now, we do have Eclipse being the only roamer upstairs. We might have one downstairs too, but right now Eclipse is just trying to hold on to the floor above instead of a library at the moment. Keeping an eye here on Ferocity. They look like they're going to go for that master balcony take and move on forward into the more standard kind of push onto the site above. Eclipse now navigating towards the basement. He's actually downstairs in the snowmobile garage, but again, Ferocity's going to be here. Slash has been known to be the one that opens up the window hole there, or the floor right to the window. Toss out the C4. Does about 35 or 75 damage there to King Leo. However, he has been injured down for the count, and Young will be there to pick him up.
You can see here King Leo's just trying to cut off that rotation on that basement roamer on Eclipse, but he does get taken out in the process. A nice shot from Eclipse, I have to assume, as we did not see it, onto King Leo. That's going to open up a lot of rotation options for him as a roamer later into the round. A minute 30 left to go. Half the round has progressed here, and the attackers are only just now starting to establish some amount of control over top the bomb site, and they are also at the man disadvantage here. Fuses are going to start going down onto the floor, and that's going to start and try to pick off somebody who's playing in kitchen, but there is no defender in the kitchen right now.
Now, I'm curious to know if the castle barricade has been hit 11 times or if they actually have they do have the rotate hole. I see it here now. So Avian, if he pokes on out any further, he could get picked off here by Santa looking in through the kitchen window. But he will evade destruction for the moment. Ash, though, going to be picking off here. And Santa, however, will drop that shot onto Avian. He just peeked his head out a little bit too much, trying to go for the kill there onto Moss. Eclipse still roaming hard. He's now inside of the fireplace lounge as Santa here is inside of the backyard looking for more people to rotate on. That castle barricade is going to give a little bit less line of sight into dining, but it does give him less angles to actually look at. So that means he can focus on that rotation through the hallway of dining towards kitchen. Eclipse now trying to rotate around through the top L. Going to try to tag Trippin here off, but it looks like he gets the headshot down. And will he fall through the drop hatch? He will. He's now caught between two castle barricades. He's going to have to open up one. Santa, though, dropping the headshot there on the slash as Young takes out Moss. Now it's a 2-on-3. 15 seconds left to go. They got to move on in, but that gas grenade is going to stop that pushing from Santa. Looks like King George drags the kill there onto Dave. Last man alive is going to be Santa. He will die by the gas grenade, and we are going to have Vertical Gaming win round number 2.
Yeah, you can't escape those gas canisters, unfortunately. No matter what you do in that barbed wire situation with the shield on your rifle, you are just too darn slow. And with only 15 seconds left to go, I mean, there's not a lot of options for that Blackbeard other than, hey, let's vault in through the window and try to get these picks. And it's just, yeah, it's not going to happen. So, VG managed to fend off Ferocity there, defending the trophy room. And the way that they did it was through an excellent roam game from Eclipse. Single roamer. Now that's something you don't often see on this particular map, but a single roamer managed to do the work of 2, or what we normally see is even sometimes 3. Meanwhile, the anchors, yes, they started getting picked off by that Blackbeard, but there was enough of them to which it didn't really matter. Lose 2 anchors on the site, we've got 2 more, no big deal. So, Ferocity Esports set themselves up well. BG set themselves up better on the defense.
Now we see Dave opening up the entire wall there between the bomb sites and trophy and kitchen. Typically, we'll see maybe an impact grenade or just a straight line across. It's not often that we see the entire wall getting opened.
Yeah.
10 seconds
I
left
mean,
before
on that last
insertion.
round, also, it's worth noting, I mean, there was the one roamer game coming up from Eclipse, and that's a
5
really
seconds
thin
left before
thread for the
insertion.
defensive squad. If you can just cut it as an attacker, if you can just get rid of
Attackers recovered
only
the bomb
Eclipse,
diffuser.
then you put yourself in
Attackers'
such a
objective
good
is to
position to
locate a
take the
bomb
site
and defuse it.
overall, because that alleviates just about 50% of the total pressure you have to deal with as the attacking squad. Simply, the fact that they were unable to pick off Eclipse is probably why Ferocity ended up losing that round. So defenders have been so far successful on this entire map. Neither of these teams able to win an attack, but that's only 2 rounds into this match. Vertical Gaming now going on to their attack of the trophy room. It's gonna be their first time that they've handled this site. As Ferocity again, they went into the gaming room in the bar, and it worked.
Ooh, now little head tap there. Oh, almost through the wall. That was gonna be Dave almost eating that.
Just barely managed to dodge it. You can't actually get the angle. If they open up this window, they can get the angle onto Dave, but it doesn't look like Avian's going to start to look for that angle right now, so unfortunately will miss that opportunity. He's instead challenged these angles onto the players in the west lobby, or playing aggressive on the west lobby, as he knows there's one down in the lower west lobby stairs, and Santa is playing close to the west lobby door. King George has established control over this east balcony, and that's to deny a lot of the roam game coming out from FE. He will probably do just that.
And we are going to see Eclipse possibly try to challenge King Leo downstairs inside the wine cellar. Moss has taken quite a bit of damage, but he's navigated downstairs as well.
You can see here very proficient clearing of the roamers coming out from VG, compartmentalizing this attack. It looks like it might be just a lobby attack, but the main focus, it seems, is just to hunt down these roamers. They are going to spot King Leo eventually with these drones, and Moss the like. They just saw his feet through the drone hole, so it's likely they're going to be able to push into these 2 roamers and start to establish a man advantage here.
Looks like Eclipse is going to go on down the fireplace stairs, try to challenge King Leo down there inside of the connector. He's just wanting to get the can for the moment. However, the first kill of the round will be fallen upon Trippin as Young finishes him off from above.
See, the thing about the roamer game is that they actually have to do something. Avian's going to pick off Moss, meanwhile, and Young is going to take out Santa, now a 2-on-5. One of those players on the defensive squad still alive is King Leo on that roam game, as I was talking about earlier. He is going to pick off Eclipse to start things off here. A 2 versus 4 now. But it's still very, very grim for the defensive squad.
It is very grim, but they do have 2 gas grenades still. 35 seconds to left. The push is coming in from Fireplace. Going in. It looks like King Leo picks off another. That's top floor control happening now, unless he's got to still grab Avian up there. Slash is going to move in the kitchen. Diffuser in the hand of King George. So right here, King Leo needs to make a push onto Avian at the right now, or else Diffuser might get planted. King George still looking for the shots here onto Dave, as Slash gets that headshot onto Dave, and he will fall. Last minute alive is going to be King Leo. He's trying to push in from Dining now. He's going to spot Slash if he turns the corner remote right now and move on forward. King George is going to go into the trophy room, go for the push. Slash will not be seen, and therefore King Leo now is detected. He gets a 3rd kill. He's got 2 more to go. He's got to fight the King Leo above, as well as Avian. Or sorry, Avian's above. King George is going to be inside of the trophy.
It's King versus King here, and a 2 versus 1. King versus King and a bird.
Now King Leo might get this clutch, but he's going to have to work quickly, and it will not happen as Avian from above will swoop on down and get the shot there into King Leo.
The bird swoops down. Oh, man, that is just poetic. That entire round was poetic. A nice try there from King on the Ferocity side to bring it back for his team. Unfortunately, his anchors weren't able to take enough kills on the board. He's just too many people to cut through, too many kills to be had there, and unfortunately you're not going to be able to kill the entire enemy team in a situation like that. So a nice try from Leo, but all the same, it's just not enough.
Yeah,
now,
ultimately when it comes down to roaming, you have to, he did a great job. King Leo did a good job there. He got his 2-3 kills, but it was up to also the defenders, the on-site sentries, to basically just sit tight and allow the roamers to do their job.
Yeah, so what I was trying to say earlier before King Leo started killing a bunch of people was that as a roamer, you actually have to influence the round before the attackers are able to kill your anchors. So here's the thing. On this particular floor, and what we saw happen here was that Young, he established control over the top above Master and offices. He started opening up holes into the site itself and started picking off players 1 by 1 on that anchor game. Okay, and then after that, the attackers, they started pressuring in through the main lanes, west lobby, main lobby, and started to pick off those anchors again and again and again. And yeah, okay, sure, King Leo picked off a couple players. I think he killed 3 people that round, or whatever the case be. It was after the majority of his team had died. It was at the point at which it didn't matter that he was flanking and getting these kills. It was a nice try by him, but it needed to happen just a little bit sooner, or his teammates just needed to stay alive. And it's dependent on either his teammates stay alive or him to stay alive. Whatever the case be, you have to have people stay alive.
It's communication and cooperation between the on-site defenders and the off-site defenders.
Just a little bit too late there of a push from the Jaeger.
Now Slash will go for the peek and grabs the head of King Leo to drop him out, and that's going to be the earliest kill that we've seen here from Slash so far. He's going to go over to Eclipse. He's not going to get downed, it doesn't look like, so he will continue on the round with about 15 health.
He'll probably go somewhere safer before he gets reset in all likelihood. You can see here that Ferocity are setting themselves up outside West Lobby. And yeah, here's the reset coming in. They do not have a Rook, so there is not a guaranteed down with all of your gun, every single gun coming out for the defenders. So using that wall will do the same thing. It will give you a guaranteed down. Yeah,
it'll dampen that bullet, especially with the SMG-11 not having the best damage on it.
They probably would have been safe to just shoot him, but you know,
you can't chance it.
You can't chance it, exactly. Not in a Pro League match, no sir.
Now King George, I believe, has managed to evade detection at the moment. Trippin, however, is going to drone out Office and possibly outmaster Bedroom. We're going to see a push come on in through Ferocity from the wine cellar. That's going to be big garage as well as kitchen stairs outside.
Drone's up and running.
Now, what we've seen here in the past before has been actually a mirror window on the wall that Slash is hugged right up against. Now, fortunately for Slash, he does have the mute jammer, so Santa will not be able to open it up. They're going to call Dave over to throw an EMP, but I think he used all three.
All three, yeah. I'm pretty sure at this point, because he hasn't thrown one, that he used all three of those Thatcher grenades, which means that one single mute jammer on that wall and closet is going to deny a lot of the control for this take. Flip side. Slashhog is going to C4 Moss before Young picks off Dave.
Trippin will take out Slash, and Santa comes in with a heavy kill to Young as Avian will just trip on the headshot of their Trippin. Now with 1-on-3, Avian going to get the last kill there out of Santa, and that will be the end of the round 4. VG taking it with authority there.
Yeah, very decisive round there for VG. It was a wine cellar attempt from Ferocity coming in from the west, I believe that is, although I do not have compass right in front of me. And it was a nice try. They compartmentalized their attack. They denied any of the roamers getting those flanks off, which is one of the main goals to do on that particular attack. However, when they were pushing into the anchors, they just lost their engagements. More importantly, that Thatcher wasted all three of his Thatcher grenades, unfortunately unable to open up that closet. That's going to cut into your attack quite a lot, because the main function of a wine cellar attack is establishing the crossfire between the closet wall being open and the main wall, just the main wine cellar hallway wall being open. Because that's a nice little crisscross into the A-bomb site, and we just didn't have that last round. It was the north. It's the north that I was thinking of, not the west.
And what I'm thinking of here is we're not seeing a thermite being brought out, just a Hibana. And so what I believe we've seen before in this is either they're going to use all 2 or 3 to open up the garage wall, or they're just going to leave it enough that Blackbeard can then kind of hold down the rotation, open up drop hatch and push in through fireplace and the back hallway.
Well, you could technically execute all of the different 3, well, there's 3 different attack options for this 4 that we've seen so far. And you could technically execute, and there's variations on them, but you can technically execute all 3 of them with just a Hibana. And the main 3 are this. You open up, like you said, you open up that snowmobile garage, you open up the bar drop down, and then you push into B. You open up the crossfire between the wine cellar and the wine cellar wall, so the wine cellar closet and the wine cellar wall, and you establish that crossfire into A, which is what we saw Flipside, or Ferocity try to do, rather, and that was unsuccessful. And then the third one is just straight pushing in through the snowmobile garage without any control of the bar. Sorry.
So here we have it now. We do have Moss who's roaming upstairs along with King Leo. That's going to be the dual lurk that we've been looking for from these guys. And that is going to be most likely what will be the most impactful here today. Now Moss is right above. He's going to look on down through fireplace doorway. Eclipse is out of sight, out of mind here. Slash's drone will spot him out at the top of fireplace stairs though. They're going to have Moss try to relocate himself as he moves on towards the library stairs, towards the back into bar. Taking a little bit of a different angle here. Now there's not too much coming out of VG at the moment. They're basically just trying to hold down their angles. Eclipse though, going heavy and hard with a pre-fire and a Moss from bar. Very good drone. Now Eclipse is also going to see King Leo. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Eclipse go for a peek here. He does go for the pre-fire peek, and Unfortunately, we already have King Leo rotating away. He's inside a library. Going to go back down the back stairs where Moss was. Young trying to hold down the flank from the top stairs. Again, this is what we're seeing here. We're going to see a west side or a north side push in the wine cellar. They're not worried too much about bar or the garage or the back stairwell.
As they don't need to be, and that's why we saw them bring a Habana rather than a Thermite, because this is probably the best served attack strategy.
Oh, and the wallbang from Slash will take the head off of Santa.
Trippin killing his teammate in essence there by making his presence known.
Now Dave will be fully flashed. Slash goes in to get another kill there, and that's going to be a tremendous job. 2 men left to go. King Leo above, Trippin inside a connector. Looking for the shots there into King George. Right now he's just holding a slight angle, but we do have King Leo trying to get back on site, but he will get instantly picked up by Slash. That's a 3K. Going to go for a 4K, but he dies in the process. King George will trade it on off, and that's going to be round number 5, going to Vertical Gaming.
And that's a properly compartmentalized attack there coming out from VG. The way that they handle that is they push the roamers all the way back on the first floor. They even got a pick onto one of them. And then they made the push into the site. And on top of that, they also had the ability to open up both the closet and the wine cellar wall, which established that crossfire that they so needed. They didn't even have a they didn't even have a Thermite, and they managed to make that happen. So, I mean, that's what we needed to see from Ferocity on that previous attack. And I think what we're seeing shine through here is what I was talking about earlier, is like you don't bring VG to Chalet. I mean, I understand that, yes, Ferocity, okay, you're confident on Chalet, but it's just this is one of Vertical Gaming's oldest, best maps. One of the maps that they've been playing since the very beginning of time. And sure, like you talked about, they have done a lot of adaptations to the stratagem, but it's still a map they're going to be comfortable on.
So I don't think we mentioned it, but seeing as how, looking back here, we had Ferocity choose to go in the basement that last defense instead of going back to Bar and Gaming. Was that Bar and Gaming stock, or was that Bar and Gaming hold a pocket strategy that they were just looking to catch VG off guard, or is that something that might start becoming a norm?
Yeah, the former, almost certainly.
10 seconds left.
I mean, I think if VG had more time to establish themselves on that attack, they probably would have been able to execute a little bit better. But I do think it is just a pocket strat. There's some really redeeming qualities, don't get me wrong, of the gaming and bar defense. For example, that balcony outside the library, which, by the way, we talked about how important library is to maintain control of. The balcony outside of library is so easily held from inside library as you cannot rappel onto it. The only way to get on top of it is through the ladder, and to deny the ladder, all you have to do is sit at a tight angle inside the library itself as a defender. So that balcony is in essence useless for the attackers. But as you saw, I mean, VG, they were applying a lot of pressure to library despite that from simply the east balcony that you see Santa standing on right now. So, I mean, yes, it's a really interesting strategy, and there's definitely a lot of redeeming qualities to it. However, it's still, you know, counterable. Just the same as, I guess you could say, any other defense is. So I do think it's a pocket strat. It could see more play in the future, though.
So Eclipse is now here inside of the library cubby, gets droned out and destroys it in the process. Now, what we're seeing here is, again, Eclipse being that solo roamer at the moment, and he does a fairly good job. Most times, the most successful roams that I've seen have been duo pairs or sometimes trio pairs, but Eclipse kind of makes this look easy. He's got full-fledged control of whatever he wants to have. However, as I say that, Moz pushes on in to take him down, and we also had King Leo dropping the slash down. Young will be stationed inside of the trophy room as King Leo manages to get to the top of those top of the kitchen stairs.
A bomb has been located.
There goes the C4 toss, and unfortunately Santa's got the cat reflexes and narrowly escapes, but that is not the same for King Leo as King George peeks on up to the drop hatch to finish him down.
Once again, the tale of two kings has gone in the favor of George.
Now, Avian has been injured. I believe he... I don't know exactly how he... might have been the window from Blackbeard, the kitchen window, but he will get picked back up momentarily there. That means there's only one member of the Defenders team on site. That's Young inside of the B side of Trophy.
A lot of the defenders are off the site so far that they aren't going to be able to easily help this defense at all. I mean, it's all pretty much down to Young. We got Avian and King George who are roaming pretty deep. You can see that castle barricade, though, isn't going to be able to get broken by Moss because he doesn't have any Ash charges left, which is going to lend a little bit of favor to the defenders leading into this round in all likelihood.
Now, Dave is waiting for the roam from behind. He knows that two are off site, and there's only one man who's going to be in the trophy room. Moss is just waiting for that perfect call out on when to go. He's going to go for the peek there on Young and grabs it. Now he's going to rush on over to the trophy. We're going to see the plant go down by Trippin. as
King
King
George.
George, last man alive here. He's moving on in from the bar. He's going to be the last defender here.
1 versus 4, 16 seconds left to go. I mean,
He's going to have to get the ace,
if
basically.
yeah, he's going to have to get the ace. And if the diffuser weren't being planted right now, it would have been possible. If Dave weren't directly above him, also might have been possible, but he was. And so we will see FE take their second round of this map. However, I believe they are still on match point.
It's still match point. It's 4-2 at the moment, and we're going to see Vertical Gaming now go on the attack squad. So we see what's happening here with Vertical Gaming, and we talked about with King George how Slash got brought back onto the team to be that aggressive style player, and we see him doing just that with Ash.
Yeah, and he's been doing a good job of it so far in this matchup as far as I can tell. Bar Gaming Room going to be coming out from Ferocity, so it seems as if it's not a pocket strat for them. They define it as their main lineup, and that's really interesting to see. Just as interesting as it was to see the first time. So we'll see if VG are able to adapt to this particular strategy and formulate an attack option here to try and win this round and lock things out. I mean, they had a really good idea on their first attempt there. You know, their first go of attacking this particular site, which is pushing through north, take control of north, establish control over east balcony above lobby, and then open up the wall, the east wall of library, and just like kind of establish top stairs control, and then push your way down into the A bomb site or the B bomb site or whichever, because you have full top stairs control. You can do either.
Yep.
And it was a good idea, like I said. However, they got kind of foiled by Moss, who came up from the main lobby below, where VG had no control. And the C4 up onto the balcony, and then the kill onto the player playing on the southwest balcony inside, or I guess terrace, or whatever you want to call it. It did end up swinging the man count very harshly back in the favor of the defenders.
Yep, so now we see Young tossing out 2 of the 3 EMPs, and right now he's, I think, just trying to get some ADSs, possibly some Valk cams that might not be in the best spots there.
You know, it used to be those EMPs like cleared out basically an
entire room.
20 feet felt like. And now the way that they cleared out, you actually have to be very conservative with them. You have to be very careful about where exactly you decide to use them, because they are not as efficient as they used to be, which is a good thing.
I think the radius might have been cut down in half from what it previously was.
I think it was like a third. It was cut way down, because they used to clear out like everything. And I think, yeah, they're way more balanced now.
And what we are going to see here is 4 members from FE on the top floor.
You can see Dave's playing aggressively behind that chimney there. That's an interesting angle he's going to choose to use. He's him sitting there is denying the vault. So you see how there's a castle barricade on that door to his left? That castle barricade is effectively denying entrance into that doorway, right? But you could vault over the railing and bypass the castle.
So you can do that. I would also say, hey, if you know you're going to go up against this strat, pick a fuse if you're going to have a castle. There's no mute that's stopping it, so you could easily just castle or fuse that single window out by the balcony or bathroom.
New feed.
That camera would have been shot mid-throw. However, we do have 1:15 left to go, and we're still finding VG trying to collapse onto the top defenders, as there are now only 2 of them left. It looks like 2 have retreated back to their site, waiting for the final push to come on. Now King George has gotten off the balcony, and it looks like some pre-fire shots from Dave are going to go through the window and just spook him out a bit. However, Santa will fall by Slash in the aggressive push in the gaming room. Tripping going to go for the peek there, and he will tag him on down as Dave picks up King George out of the window. Now we've got a 3-on-4 with 50 seconds left to go. Looks as though we're going to have Young and Eclipse exchange positions on the back kitchen stairs, as we are going to have, looks like Sledge will fall to Dave, and get another kill here from Tripping. This is the last man alive as Avian. He's going to go 1-on-4 and get taken out by King Leo. A second successful hold here on the bar and gaming room.
Yeah, and Ferocity certainly proving that this is it's their favorite defense spot, of course, because now that's the 3rd round that they've won. I think that puts them on 4-3, and one of the previous rounds was on the same exact bomb site. So, I mean, you have to apply some merit to that particular hold. And, you know, Ferocity, obviously, very much, they deserve a lot of credit for making it work repetitively. I mean, we've seen teams go to the bar gaming room time and time again, but not quite the way that we're seeing Ferocity do it right now.
I think, like, one of the things that I've said before in the past has been, I want to see teams try to expand their knowledge and expand their strategies on different bomb sites instead of just trying to create variations of the same bomb sites we've seen. And what I feel like that does from a defense standpoint is if you can catch the attackers off guard, you're now able to basically say, you're able to go up against an unanticipated attack, an unorganized attack. where they don't have a dedicated strategy to taking that bomb site because they haven't practiced it, because it's not a normal bomb site. So if you as a defending team, you as a team that can create a good defense strategy, you're likely to, at least for the beginning part of the season, or the first few times it's seen, come out on top of that fight.
And now VG, they're going to be thrust down into their basement defense, which they were previously successful on. So Ferocity's got to show us something here. They aren't bringing a Thermite to the board. They are just as Habana, which we saw Vertical Gaming make or use successfully on this particular defense, so it's entirely possible. However, it's going to be curious to see how they choose to attack this. Last time, they stalled out a little bit on a wine cellar take. They didn't clear out the roamers efficiently, and then, you know, when they were pushing into the anchors, they kind of just lost the fights.
Santa's going to move in here from the backyard patio up to the office balcony, possibly hopping on over the ledge to get into the office. But the majority of the defenders are back on site. King George is going to be the only one that's top side. He's going to be in the lobby cubby, or the library cubby, with Eclipse in gaming room.
The attackers are very slowly and methodically clearing out room by room with their drones, trying to gather all the necessary information before they make the push into the building. And as they have just started to do so, they will be likely aware that King George is probably playing in the library. He has mute jammers to help him out, but it's not going to obviously get all of the drones, as we see here Dave and Trippin's drone be taken out as they spot out King George.
There were some pre-fire shots. King Leo, however, will tag the head of his own teammate Moss. Eclipse not going to go for the shots there on the King and takes him down. That's going to be 2 members instantly off the board here for the attacking squad, and it is not going to look good here for Ferocity. Outside of the single bathroom window leading into display is where we're going to see Dave possibly trying to hop on in. Slash, I think, is just, no, not Slash. We have King George, who's still upstairs inside of the library. But with Dave outside the window, you've got Santa. He's also top 4. He's going to be outside on the balcony. And we will have Dave droning out Eclipse. He's going to push on in, go for the shots there to Eclipse, and they're both going to just barely tap each other. King George looking like he might want to fall on down through into gaming room, but that's where Eclipse was earlier.
I don't think that Dave knows that. Oh, he just realized.
There's
oh,
the C4 toss. Yep. There's the C4 toss. Dave will back on out of harm's way, but we do have Eclipse trying to come out of the bar room. They're going to go for the pinch onto him. Dave will fall as King George comes out on top. Trippin will also fall, and Santa's going to be the last man alive on the balcony. And this is going to be it for Ferocity on map number 1. We are going to see Vertical Gaming secure this round as Slash takes him on down. No, not ready to give up just yet, but still not looking good for him. With about 3 health and 1 shield left to go, he's going to walk into the gas grenade and likely not come out on top.
Come on, pull out your flashbang, walk into it. I mean, this would be probably the most incredible clutch we've ever seen in Pro League history if he manages to pull this off. 20 seconds left to go. 1 versus 4, 1 HP. He'll die to a single bullet or a single smoke tick or whatever amount of damage hits him.
Oh, he grabbed the kill. He's got no shield left. Going to go for the shot on the Avian, but misses. And like we said, that will be Vertical Gaming securing map number 1 here on Chalet.
So he was going for the greatest clutch in Pro League history.
He was going for it.
He almost managed it. If he had more time, maybe.
More time, possibly some more bullets, because he was about to hit Avian through the smoke there. It was just blind fires going back and forth.
Yeah, but as we predicted, VG are going to be taking away map numero 1. And yeah, we'll be moving on to map number 2. Now, I think that it was, we saw clearly why Ferocity chose to bring VG to this particular map. And it was because they really have a lot of faith in their bar gaming room defense. And I like it too. I think it worked tremendously well for them. However, going up against VG,
you need to be more efficient on better than one site.
Yeah, and they obviously could not make that happen going up against VG. There was some good gunplay there from Ferocity, however.
Oh, Slash. If you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at?
Right?
Slash, apparently.
Yeah.
Good toss there, Slash, and now we are going to go on to Santa, trying to grab that shot there onto the castle. And that was a very nice kill there by Eclipse, but ultimately he just killed off a little bit too late, a little bit too soon, and there we go. King Leo trying to come up for the flank there, and Slash again. This is a good camera. He saw the sledge out there. That was King Leo. Saw that, poked around at the perfect time to get the kill.
And here's that decisive defense on the basement coming out from VG. And that put them, I think that particular round put them in such an advantage that they were able to win this map.
Now this is Slash's 3K. He picked off that kill into Mira, got the smoke right there, and now it's moving on forward, and that was his time to shine. Each and every person here had one round that seemed to be theirs. King Leo picked up one. We had Moss pick up another. Lots of players. Slash had gotten one. Eclipse. Players from all sorts of boards, all sides of the board, ended up coming out strong today.
Yeah, this is an excellent showing from everyone, to be certain.
15 seconds to go.
And here is that last and final kill. Santa picking off 2 and then ultimately falling to the final kill. But that is the end of map number 1. However, it's a best of 3, and so we're going to continue watching Ferocity Esports and Vertical Gaming. Our next map is going to be on Border. And you expecting anything new? I mean, with Ferocity, anything's up in the air, I guess, right now,
maybe,
right?
I mean, well, not new because everything's technically been defended, I think, at this point. But maybe we could see some Teller's defense coming out from Ferocity. I mean, it seems to be along the same line of what they were going for on Bar. But there aren't, I wouldn't say that it's as viable as Bar. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Ferocity choose to handle this particular map.
I'd be curious to know if Ferocity kind of went back to, was it the 6th Invitational, saw how Santos Dexterity took on the Tellers. Because the Tellers worked out for them in their first matchup, and then in the second they tried it again against Continuum. It didn't work out the best, but it's still able to go. So we are going to move into the game right now, ladies and gents, as VG is going to start on the attacking side of Border, and Ferocity starting on defense.
Yes, Habana, Thatcher, Ash, Buck, and Blackbeard coming out for VG, Jaeger, Valkyrie, Mira, Bandit, and Smoke for Ferocity. They are going to be starting things out on Armory, Lockers, Archives, and that is what we expected to see. So no big surprises coming out for Ferocity on their defense on this particular map, which I think lends its, yeah, I think that's lends it to reason. I think that makes a lot of sense. Going on Armory defense, on this map, yeah. I mean, Tellers is sure, you could justify attempting a defense on Tellers, but it's still a much more difficult bomb site to defend. And I guess they probably haven't stratted it the way that quite the way that they did strategize the Bar defense on Chalet. Now, I want to see how VG are going to choose to attack this. There are a lot of options coming out on this particular bomb site for the attacking squads. And what we were seeing exclusively from the last 2 teams that we saw play Border earlier today was Office's takes.
Now, with the lack of a pulse on the defensive squad here, I feel as though the majority of the defenders are going to be on the second floor site here.
Oh, just barbed wire. Okay. I was expecting to see an aggressive peek, but no.
Defender has been discovered.
Young's drone will be destroyed here as Moss is still going to maintain coverage of the monitors. Dave as well is going to be here.
Drone activated.
Now, hopefully Trippin won't get a little antsy. Avian's got this locked down, and if he goes for the peak, I don't see it faring well here for Trippin. Now, one of the strategies that we saw during the Latin American scene for this top 4 site was actually, I think it was Santos Dexterity left this west wall open and soft. They didn't reinforce it. They put a lot of effort into holding the offices.
Drone activated.
Building back.
Not seeing that come through here this time for Ferocity. They are instead opting to reinforce it, as is kind of normal, you know. But I can see how that could work, especially if you double Mira in the small office. You can see VG, they're trying to set themselves up to establish control over the CCTV room before they progress their way in through the A wall. However, they have a lot to contend with here. As you can see, that barbed wire outside the CCTV balcony, as well as plenty of defenders sitting in CCTV itself. Moss is ready to receive. Trippin is ready to return fire from the A bomb site, and King Leo is playing in that corner to pivot. We've got plenty of attention coming out from the defensive squad on CCTV, and we might just see a rotation coming out from VG, mixing things up, going to office, because, I mean, why risk it? Why push into 3 of the defenders when they're ready for you? And it looks like they're doing just that, going for that office take, taking control of the east stairs before they can press. Yeah, no, here it is. They've made a full rotation. This is a good read from VG.
It looks like Dave, however, has been injured downstairs. Moss going to take quite a bit of damage here, as well as King Leo. In all of this engagement here, there's a lot of damage being done to the defenders. They've already pushed on into the archives room. King Leo's trying to rotate on back from the monitors. Sanchez inside of Fountain. He'll get taken out as Dave will fall to Eclipse. A 3-on-5 now with a 45-second timer left to go. Diffuser will get planted, and now it looks like VG might come out on top as Eclipse and King George take down Trippin Moss. Last minute is going to be King Leo with about 25 health to go, and as he peeks around from the lockers, we will see him fall to Young.
And a absolutely fantastic rotation there from VG, recognizing that, hey, we don't have to push into CCTV. Let's just go to B, because there is nobody from the defensive squad sitting on B as of this moment. Good read by them. And unfortunately, a bad rotation from Ferocity will put the round advantage now squarely 1-0 in favor of VG. Not a good start for Infamy, or sorry, not a good start for Ferocity to start things out here on map number 2, as they already lost the previous map.
I think with VG, what I loved seeing about that rotation, about that change, was actually the fact that they did it right at the same time. They did it all perfectly together at the same time, and that allowed them to be able to rotate around without any hesitation. But we are going to see VG go with his top floor bomb set again, as is per standard for many teams. We've got the double, possibly a double mirror strike coming out of King George. No, single mirror is what it was looking like, plus a soft wall there on the west balcony. Got Slash tossing out his first Valkyrie camera inside of the hallway there, going in towards the B side. It's his second camera. And what it's looking like here again is going to be more of a, I'll call it a standard type hold here, where we are seeing
No big surprises.
Yeah, there's no big surprises. The only thing that's somewhat different that we haven't seen too much of has just been the west wall into lockers is one soft, one hard, with a mirror window.
Not a very heavy hold in the CCTV, very dissimilar to what we were seeing from Ferocity earlier in this matchup.
Santa's going to be seen out here by Slash's camera. This we saw earlier on last week, and it worked out fairly well. Showed him that they were able to see all the way down the balcony. Now Slash is going to go for the peek here, but Dave might be pre-firing around the corner. We'll have to see. Going for the jiggle peek. Slash waiting for that first indication. Sees him, goes for the kill, but misses as Dave will tag that headshot onto Slash. We will see King Leo getting knocked on out by Eclipse, and that's going to be the trade out. Sanchez going to be to the left as we got Moss going to the right. Eclipse just barely missing his target, and it will be Moss coming out on top in that engagement.
A little bit too aggressive here from VG, putting themselves at the early man disadvantage, opening up these picks for Ferocity, allowing them to get these kills and just kind of, you know, handing them to Ferocity on a silver platter.
George is going to have to fall on through after taking a couple shots in the back with 50 health left to go. He's going to rotate into server and give himself a little bit of wiggle room now.
Clearing the way.
Avian still trying to wait for this west push there. It looks like Moss going to go for some pre-fire shots through the window or through the door. Right now it looks as though Santa and Moss, as well as Trippin, are pushing in from the monitors. King George picks up one kill there onto Dave. A 3-on-3 still. Minute 15 left to go. We're now going to see Trippin with the diffuser. That's Habana outside on the west balcony. Santa moving on in. He's going to be holding down the flank, or holding onto the site from right where Avian was peeking on out from. Moss, however, has dropped off the balcony, coming on in through the southwest corner into the detention center. And we'll be spotting King George waiting for a push on out of the hallway. 45 seconds left to go on the board. Still 3-on-3. Mass working his way up the west stairs. King George not hearing anyone just yet, but he is just going to wait for this long-term flank. The flanking mirror is not something we see too often, though, but Young and Avian seem to have the sight down pat. 30 seconds left to go. Avian still on that west wall. Now King George hears the barbed wire above. Moss moving up forward. He gets the call on out, and that's Young peeking out with SMG-11. He will tag him down, but Trippin will get the trade immediately. He's also got the diffuser. He's going to go for the plant right now as King George peeked on up. Got the kill into Santa. And the last shots are coming in through Avian. Trippin going to go for the shots here, but misses. They're both going to miss their target. He's going to go for the push. Tags on one. 5 seconds left. 7 seconds left to go here as Trippin will go for the plant. Now King George is going to rush on in here momentarily with 3 seconds left. He's going to go look, and he doesn't know left or right where to go. The call was looking like locker. Now he does not have the C4 kill, but again, we've seen this before, and it worked out in favor of the attacker. We're going to see who gets the kill here, and it will again work out in favor of the attacker as he goes for the peek around the lockers. Trippin comes out on top, and Ferocity will secure round number 2.
So the round started out in Ferocity's favor, slipping away one player kill after another in favor of VG. But eventually, that clutch coming out from FE in the end will lock things out for them, putting them in a 1-on-1 now. A well done attack from Ferocity. Neither of these teams have been able to defend Armory yet, and we're going to see the same thing that we saw previously in the previous matchup, which is we're going to see Armory defended yet again despite the unsuccessful initial defense.
Yeah, it kind of seems to be a pattern where you're going to try a site twice, third time is kind of up in the air. And that seems to be what we're going to witness Vertical Gaming trying to do here. Or, I'm sorry, Ferocity.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
We're going to see quite the even kills coming out here for Vertical Gaming. Most of them having a 3-2, 3 or 2 kills apiece. There was one little donut there, but nothing to worry. We're only 2 rounds in, so plenty of time to get that off the board. Ferocity looking like they're going to set this up very similarly as they did previously.
Yeah, establishing their control over CCTV while still allowing rotation out of CCTV as a defensive squad. I like the premise of the the ideal is good, but it's also very risky for Ferocity to be doing.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Thus far, it hasn't really worked out for them as VG. They simply see it and adapt around it instead of trying to force it out, trying to take that gamble and play into FE's game.
What we are going to see here is Eclipse working his way on the west hallway, or I'm sorry, west side of the border. And typically what we'll see here is with Bandit, or no, sorry, with Bandit with Buck, we're going to see underneath just opening up, making sure he can open up the mirror window, get rid of the Bandit batteries, whatever it may be. And it's probably what he's going to do here momentarily. Just trying to clear out servers, clear out ventilation. He will spot Moss, though, inside of the Customs Inspection Lounge. Looks as though Eclipse might be looking for him here. Takes another look on out. Moss will be spotted, and that's going to push him back into the middle hallway. And then further into the inspections.
It looks like VG might be committing to this A take instead of mixing things up for a B take. I like that the VG is sticking to their guns here. They haven't taken control of VG without losing a single, sorry, they have taken control of CCTV without losing a single player on the VG lineup.
The Havana charges will be successful and take off some of the wall there. Also, it looks like Eclipse gets tagged in the back by Moss. He'll be finished off there as he just was unable to evade the bullets. A minute 30 left to go, a 5-on-4. Defenders in favor at the moment, but still plenty of time. VG has shown that they can rotate if they need to and just annihilate the defending force. Now, good thing here for Ferocity, they have a fallback if that first window got opened up, and that's going to be the office window. Trippin, however, will fall to the shots there of Slash, and that means it's going to even out to man count in a 4-4.
Bomb located by attackers.
We've got Young, whoever, he's going to be looking in through the window. That mirror window has opened up, so the fail-safe here for Ferocity, unfortunately, will not go undestroyed. Now, underneath, we will have the Valkyrie. He picked up that 1 kill there, and the King George as he pops on out of the doorway. Flashbang's going to go. Looks as though we might have had a little bit of the team flash going on, but Avian will tag that kill into Santa as we have him moving on in with a bearing 9. King Lou's going to take off 1. Another one here. He cannot get the 3rd one. However, Dave will pick it on up and win round number 3 here for Ferocity.
So VG, they established control over CCTV, then they straight forced their way into the A bomb site, but unfortunately they didn't get enough picks before they made that push happen earlier into the round, and because of that, it was a simple matter of trading back and forth for Ferocity to lock out that round. Now VG put at the round disadvantage. They are going to be going on to their own locker's defense. This is the only side we've seen played so far on this particular map, as the first 2 went in the favor of the attackers, and now the 3rd one is the very first defense win of the map. Now, if it is the case that VG are unsuccessful in defending this particular 4, we are going to be seeing a 3-1, and we are likely to see Ferocity walking away with significant lead in this matchup.
Very possible, as they are up 1, win this one. They're up 3-0, or 3-1. But again, Vertical Gaming, we've seen time and time again. Now, again, this is a different roster. Some of the players are the same. Some have just come back to the team. But we've seen time and time again that Vertical Gaming is a team that sometimes takes a round or 2, or sometimes even 4, to kind of understand their opponents on a particular map or particular bomb site, and end up then coming back in a very triumphant fashion.
5 seconds remaining.
You can see VG, they're trying to establish control over CCTV similarly to the way that we saw FE do it earlier. looks like they might be trying to play a little bit harder in there. However, given that they have invested, it looks like a mirror window on that CCTV wall looking in towards the hallway. That mirror window would not only see onto the hallway, would also see onto that south door entrance to the CCTV. There's a lot of good coverage coming out from VG here, a good setup overall. Looks like Ferocity are going to be going for an offices east-west take here, going for the B bomb site. They have established control underneath to deny that Pulse C4 coming up from below, or Valkyrie C4, or what have you. They will likely do just that.
Looks like Slash will get spotted out inside of the servers as King Leo's inside of the bathroom, ready to smash his way in. He's just trying to get that final call as to where the Valkyrie is. Once he gets that, he'll push his way into servers and likely go after Slash. The wall bang almost about to happen. He's waiting for which one to shoot. There goes the shot. He goes for the kill, but misses his target. It will drop him down to about 30 health, but also takes a little bit of damage in the process.
Enemy spotted. I'm out.
Slash now knows that he's being collapsed upon. That's going to be King Leo pushing on in, opening up the wall. There goes that C4 tossed on out. Will not be successful. Now Slash was able to evade to the right side. I don't think King Leo saw it, so he might get the upper hand in that engagement.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
If he goes around for the peek, there's the kill. If King can get it, he's going to go for the shots onto Slash, but he misses again. Now this is a long-standing duel off here that we're going to be seeing. Slash takes the upper hand, and he will come out on top as he takes down King Leo. He's going to look on up through, stop the diffuser from getting planted. Dave will fall by Slash. What a clutch moment here by Slash as it's in a 3-on-5. A minute 10 left to go. Trippin', trying to pick up that diffuser and run on out of the site. Now they are going to need to stop Slash from being down there any further, and it looks as though Eclipse will be the one to stop Moz from pushing in even more. Santa, the final two attackers, you've got Santa and Trippin both trying to go on in. Now the flashbang will go out, and we'll see Trippin try to be blinded. He's going to get the plant down. No, he will not. Even going to peek on through the smoke grenade and just finish him off. Last man alive is going to be Santa. He will have his shield destroyed. He's going to pull out his last one here. He still has full health, 40 seconds to go, but they all know where he's at. A 1-on-5. Anyone can do it, possibly the Blackbeard can, and he ultimately cannot with the C4 kill coming out of King George's hand.
A good defense there from VG, and you could see it was mostly due to the fact that they had some fantastic angles. That CCTV control wasn't wasted this time. Now, more often than not, when you see a defensive team on board or try to invest heavily into CCTV control, they end up losing because the attacking squad will simply rotate over to the offices, which we saw VG do earlier in this matchup. However, the way that VG had them set up their defense there, you could see that the CCTV control still maintained some sort of, just pressure onto the offices take coming out from Ferocity earlier, through that mirror window looking all the way into offices. And that's an angle we don't often see utilized for the defenders, and it was put to good use here. Also, more importantly, Slash won his roam game downstairs. If he had been unsuccessful downstairs, we would have likely seen the diffuser plant go off, and we would have seen Ferocity put themselves in a great position going into that round. However, it didn't happen because Slash was able to somehow beat the sledge and then progress onto that diffuser planter from below.
Yeah, King Leo had multiple attempts to get that victory kill, and I think ultimately once that was lost and then Slash was able to peek right up, get the double kill, that was kind of the nail in the coffin for that last round.
And now Vertical Gaming going to be able to attack Ferocity Esports defense down in the ventilation.
Device placed.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Placed device.
I think I've seen that can placement before there by Valkyrie. Little odd. I don't know how well the lighting will hide it, but we'll have to stay tuned and see if it gets destroyed later on.
Swapping this.
It's definitely going to see a lot of the offices, which is exactly what they need and what they want to have inside of there. They're going to be expecting that east balcony push. And that's why you see the Valkyrie cams there going inside of that office.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers recovered the diffuser. Attackers have dropped the bomb.
VG looking like they're setting themselves up to go for a straight east offices take. They're going to take control of these offices, then push their way in through tellers and bathroom. Once they've done that, they will likely go for the plant in the A bomb site. They only have a Habana, no thermite to open up the wall any further, but it will be likely enough.
Now with Eclipse clearly getting into the offices uncontested, we are going to see some more firepower and some more pressure being put in to the archives. Right on the other side of the wall is going to be King Leo inside of the lockers. Right now he's trying to challenge a little push in. Eclipse will spot him out. He's going to go for a little grenade toss, I think, trying to rush on forward. No, he's actually going to toss it on down. Barely missing Moss, though. Goes in for the pre-fire and just taps him in the head. A wonderful shot. The C4 kill, just barely missing the kill there onto Eclipse. C4 toss. And we have already finished off half the round here, and not too much has happened. We've had a few skirmishes going on, according to, especially with King Leo falling to Avian. I'm sorry, to Eclipse.
The attackers have established control over the top floor, and that's what's most important here going into this round. However, Trippin's going to trade things back onto Slashug. That's going to put pressure back onto the attacking squad with only a minute left to go. They have to exert a lot of pressure here. And with Trippin still in CCTV, that is going to put a little bit of a damper on this push.
Now the progress being made by VG is going to start off into Tellers. You can see them opening up the castle barricade as well as the reinforced walls into A. Dave is going to have to get on out of there now that the castle barricade is getting opened up. King George going to hesitate on the shots there and miss Dave rotating around, but that does mean it's all clear, so he will push in after getting rid of the barbed wire. Looks as though Eclipse will fall, comes on over, picks off one, picks off two. Now there's only two men left. That's Moss and Trippin. They're both off site, so we are going to see the rest of VG try to push in momentarily. Moss is going to be inside of the office, pushing in above.
15 seconds left.
Into Archives. Now Trippin's gonna fall here, looks for the pre-fire shot into Avian, but misses. Looks like he picks off one. He will not get the other, and round 5 will go into the hands of VG in just a moment's notice.
Yeah, so as you can see there, unfortunately, Ferocity were unable to, we're not paying attention to the server drop down, and it's likely that is due to the fact that they had a player playing above it. Unfortunately, that player was unable to stop Eclipse from dropping down, and because of that, the round kind of just got torn apart there, torn to shreds for Ferocity. Earlier on in the round, though, it was a good clear on the Roamer game to start things off for VG. However, the trade backs did make it a little bit more of a pressured circumstance. It didn't actually end up mattering. Now VG going to be going onto defense of the ventilation room themselves.
Defenders, protect
We'll
your
see if they're
bombs
able
from
to
being
successfully
defused by
make this
attackers.
happen. Now, what we've been seeing time and time again on this particular floor, or this particular bomb site, is the way the attackers choose to handle it is they try to take control of the top floor and progress their way down, which is what we saw
Bomb
VG do
located
just
by
now.
attackers.
And I don't think we're going to see much variation from that from Ferocity. There are other ways to handle things, like on this particular floor, like you, for example, can clear out customs and CCTV instead of the whole top floor. Progress your way in through customs, then just kind of hit the site from the south side blanket statement, whether it be from the hallway or just straight into the B bomb site. That's an option. However, we don't see it played a lot. You can also see sometimes just a straight west push right into the front door into the B bomb site, go for that diffuser plant, try and hope that defenders aren't paying very much attention to the site, as they're more than likely stacked upstairs, as we're seeing right now from VG, trying to wait for that progression, that slow take moving into the offices or the A wall, well, what would be the A wall upstairs.
Yeah, so you'd sit stacked up. That is going to be a 3-2 defensive split with Mira, Valkyrie, and Bandit upstairs.
Very heavily invested, and we are seeing the West take so far coming out from FE. At least a couple players spawned outside front. I like this angle here coming from King George. This is going to give him line of sight. He'll at least know. He can probably tag up and at least know if somebody rushes their way through front door into more. And that's been used to greatest success for them. However, it looks like they're not going to be doing that this time. We'll see exactly how they choose to handle it. They spawn for a CCTV take. They're just kind of staying outside the building right now.
They are, and one of the things to note here about Ferocity is they're playing a little bit more conservative with no roamers on the first floor. Everyone's going to be on that top floor.
That means we're not going to have to deal with any C4 from below. It's going to alleviate a lot of pressure right off the bat for the attacking squad.
So we see King Leo and Moss both trying to hold down the monitors here inside of security. This is, again, one of the sites that you typically need a duo pair. You need a coordinated pair to try to hold it down, to cover the flanks and crossfires of each other. And that's exactly what these two are trying to do. However, it looks as though, as hard as they try, King George will just say no and takes him on out from the south balcony.
Still Moss left alive, but he's going to be in a very prickly situation here. Because now he's being challenged by at least 3 attackers, and he's been droned out.
So his only option at the moment, unless he wants to get peeked off, it's going to be to rotate back across the balcony. We see him doing that now. He'll get back onto the east side. No, he won't. He actually stayed in close. He stayed in close. He's going to go for the repeat here. Go for the quick. He grabs one. Almost grabbed another before being taken out by King George.
Can't challenge onto 3 people. Maybe 2, not 3, not necessarily, especially not one with a Blackbird shield. And that is going to be now a 4-on-3 match point series point.
60 seconds left to go. Eclipse forces his way in, tags one, but cannot tag the other. No, that was a perfect trade. That means Dave's the last man alive in a 3-on-1. King George holding around. He's going to look around, gets spotted, and gets taken out. Last 2 alive are going to be Avian and Young. Plant is going down inside of lockers. Avian's going to be on the right side of locker. Young has popped on out to the west balcony. There is now 40 seconds left to clutch this round, and we will see this go 2-0 in favor of VG. However, it's not all lost just yet. You've got Dave with plenty of health, 3 gas grenades. So he could gas out Hibana if he needed to and gas all 3, and that would leave him to fend off the fight there onto Young by himself. But as Dave's going to peek around, Young is there, and that is dropping the kill. This is going to be Vertical Gaming securing map number 2 and taking the series whole 2-0.
Well played to Vertical Gaming to lock out that map. Unfortunately, just a distinct lack of adaptation from Ferocity to be able to bring themselves back in there, and also some gaps left open. I mean, Eclipse managed to walk his way in through the main hallway, through the middle doorway in between the 2 sites, into the small office, and straight around to the flank of Bandit. I mean, stuff like that should not be allowed to happen. Unfortunately, it did, and it is what it is.
So with that, Vertical Gaming, as we see on the screen right now, comes out on top 2-0, winning over yet again another Challenger League team that has come into the Pro League. And typically, I mean, with the seeding the way it is, you put your seed 1 against seed 8, which is your Challenger League seed, seed 2 going up against 7. So it is kind of it's a challenge for the Challenger League teams.
Oh, absolutely. And it showed that Vertical Gaming, that while they have made a lot of changes to their roster, and they are not the team.
Slash again. Slash is having some tough times throwing some gadgets. He missed the Valcam earlier, the flashbang there.
But all the same, that was a really good round to start things off there for them. Sorry, Vertical Gaming, despite the fact that they've made so many roster changes and that they're basically a new team at this point, well, I mean, they've been a new team for a long time, they are still a very dominant driving force in the forefront of the North American scene. And Ferocity had a good showing today, arguably, but you see things like this, like leaving that drop down left unwatched. I'm sure that they, thought that the Bandit was watching that.
Yep.
But you still have to keep an eye open, or if not, like an ear open, be ready for that drop down, and then not clearing. I mean, it's just unfortunate.
So it's things like that, like not watching the drop hatch because you're both watching the same angle. It's stuff like that that separates the good Pro League teams from the great Pro League teams.
Right.
Is situational awareness, not only about yourself and about the enemy, but about where the rest of your team is watching.
Yeah, I was about to say, like you were saying, the rest of your team synergy, it's just something you have to work yourself into.
Yep.
While the Vertical Gaming roster is fairly new somewhat, almost all of these players,
seasoned.
I think all of these players have played with each other on a couple different teams. So like, they're all really experienced with each other. They know how to play with and against. So yeah.
So with that, ladies and gents, we are going to take a look at the brackets for today. Group B is what we're going to start off with here. This is what we just witnessed today. Vertical Gaming coming out on top 2-0 against Ferocity Esports. That was the series we just got finished watching. If you were with us earlier, you got to see Elevate take on Infamy, coming out 2-0 on that, which means Infamy and Ferocity are, unfortunately, going to move down to the losers match, and the winners match will be played up against Elevate and Vertical Gaming.
Yeah, and what a show that's going to be. Elevate versus VG, that's going to be a fantastic showdown. Those two squads actually are very close with each other, so I mean, it's going to be kind of like a friendly match, but at the same time, very hard fought, to be sure. Definitely,
and so like we said, that is going to be the conclusion of Group B. Group A is unchanged, so I don't know if we'll show that on up, but if we do, you'll see what we'll possibly get to next week. So next week for the North American scene, I believe it's going to be both losers matches. I want to say it's either going to be both losers matches or just Group A. We'll have to stay tuned and figure out which one it's going to be. But nonetheless, we have our losers, we have our winners in the first stages of the group stage.
Right, North America kicking it off really strong. You could see here what we had last week when we did a North America play day was Flipside versus Omen, Excellence versus Continuum. Omen getting knocked down into the loser bracket by Flipside. That was, kind of what we expected to see. Omen was that #3 Challenger League team coming in because of the disbanding of Ominous. And then Excellence Gaming, a little bit of an upset, 2-0 against Continuum. No one, I don't think anyone really expected that, but Excellence definitely shined through as a light in the dark there. Really a strong team to be reckoned with. And they will be going up against Flipside later down the line.
Yep, and so that is the end of the North American Playday for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you for joining us. Come back tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Central European Time, or 5 p.m. Eastern Time, for the Latin American Pro League Playday #2. Now, we said last week that we had a schedule change, or had a postponing of the Latin American scene from last Tuesday to Saturday. And now the typical Playday is going to be Tuesday. So every single Tuesday from here on out is going to be the Latin American Pro League. So Monday is North America. We've got Tuesday as Latin American. And then we have the Thursday Playday going to be the European scene. So if you're here for all the Pro League days, please swing back tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Central European Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, to join us for the Latin American Pro League Playday #2. Again, my name is Sean Rosenbaum. This is Kickstar, and we're going to call it a night. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to wish you a wonderful Monday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night.